to award the Nobel Peace Prize for 2025 to Maria Corina Machado.
Machado is being honored for being a Venezuelan opposition activist living in hiding after threats on her life. She'd been disqualified attempting to run for president against Nicolas Maduro, who the U.S. does not recognize as the legitimate president of Venezuela. Instead, there's a $50 million American reward for Maduro's arrest. He's accused of illegal drug trafficking. Now, President Trump had been nominated. A group of families of hostages Hamas took in Gaza put out a statement this morning that no leader has done more for peace than the president as the war in Gaza moves toward a ceasefire.
The Israeli government gave approval to Trump's peace plan just after 1 o'clock in the morning. Israeli Defense Forces are pulling back to a predetermined line. About 53% of the country, of the part of Gaza, will still be under the control of Israeli forces. And then the clock will start the next 72 hours. That's how much time Hamas will have to release all 48 hostages, dead and alive.
Fox's Steve Harrigan in Tel Aviv. The president will go to the Middle East this weekend. He's been invited to address Israel's parliament Sunday. Today, President Trump goes to Walter Reed Medical Center to get a health checkup and meet some U.S. troops there. The New York Attorney General, who won a civil fraud case last year against then-candidate Trump and his company, Letitia James, is now charged with criminal fraud related to a mortgage application.
These charges are baseless. And the president's own public statements make clear that his only goal is political retribution.
Now, when James first ran for attorney general in 2018, she vowed to target President Trump, calling him illegitimate. The massive fine in the Trump fraud case that she won last year was overturned on appeal. America's listening to Fox News.
I'm Ed Evans, CEO of Consumer Cellular. Ever wonder why the big wireless companies want you on an unlimited plan? It's because they need you to help cover the cost of the 20-somethings who are using a lot of data every month. Fact is, according to the latest research studies, most people 50 and up, like me, only use 12 gigs or less each month. Don't get bamboozled by big wireless. At Consumer Cellular, pick what suits your needs. Whether it's 1 gig, 5, 10, or unlimited, the point is, pay for exactly what you need and nothing more. We use the same towers as the big guys, but since we don't own and maintain them, we can pass the savings on to you. Our plans start at just $20 a month, and you'll get the best customer service in the business. I want to invite you to join the millions of people who choose something better than big wireless, because if you're not using all that data, you're probably getting used.
Call 1-888-FREEDOM or visit consumercellular.com/facts. Plans include $5 credit for auto pay and e-billing. See site for additional facts.
WFOM and W292 EV Marietta, a Dickey Broadcasting Station. This hour is presented by Subaru of Gwinnett. You'll love the difference. The Morning Extra, only on Extra 106.3.
Morning, y'all. Tug and Los until 10 on Extra 106.3.
I thought we were going to learn something new, that maybe suddenly we're going to 9 again. Or maybe 11 out of nowhere.
9 maybe, 11 not a chance. It's not good. Just we can't. We can't.
It's too much.
My voice would be gone.
The 5-hour morning show. I know there's a handful of them out there. Y'all some gladiators.
No kidding, dude. My voice would be gone.
Just a lot.
People don't realize when you talk as much as we do, with the amount that we do, that it takes a toll. And my wife pokes fun at me a little bit, and I get it. She don't understand that. She doesn't understand, the process.
Well, she doesn't talk to anybody for the first hour at work. Trust me. I say good morning to her every morning.
Yeah.
If I didn't, she'd walk right past me every day.
She's so quiet in the morning. You're exactly right. That's so her mode of operation. But that's the thing. People don't realize, man, this takes a toll on you. And because we talk 45 minutes an hour.
I don't know if you want to tell people that are going to go break some brick that we're working.
No, but no, you're right. No,
it's different. It's different.
Totally different. It's not as hard as breaking bricks. There's other jobs that are way, way harder. No, I would never say that we work the hard. I'm just saying it. Like by the end of the week, my throat's sore.
I will vouch for you. Whenever I do the double, whenever it's you and me in the morning, and then I'll go sub in to do afternoon drive. By the time I'm done with 8 hours, I do go home, and it's an inability to talk. It's 8 hours of just talking.
I need some tea.
So if you tell me four right now is good.
Yeah.
3 was better.
3 was better.
4 I can survive.
3's better.
5 sounds like a lot, but my wife, too. By the time we get to the end of the week, she'll just say, "You're talked out, aren't you?"
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah.
Yeah, I am. I
talked out.
don't want to say anything. And I guess it's good. By the time you get home, noon or 1 or whatever time, there's nobody there, so I don't have to talk. It's great. I pet the dog on the head and try to take a nap. That's about it.
Please do not confuse this for being aloof. The reason why, like if we're at a volleyball facility, I talked to a guy last week who said, "I've seen you at like the convention center a number of times," and he's like, "But you're watching your daughter, so I've never come up." I'm like, "No, please come up."
Oh yeah, man, of course.
Most of the time, I don't say much of anything when we're at anywhere.
No.
I'm just kind of off in my own little quiet world.
And paying attention.
Yeah. And listen, I'm ready to talk with anybody anytime. But I'm not like the loud, gregarious person when we're out. In fact, most of the time, it's a pair of headphones and I'm listening to whatever Tug told me so I can listen back so I can understand him.
That's right.
It's like Tug tells me all the time. He's like, "Hear me out, hear me now, understand me later."
That's right.
So I got to do that.
That's right. What I'd sent you some stuff to listen to yesterday. Let me see what. Oh yeah. If drinking don't kill me, her memory will.
Her memory will.
This is what I was like, go listen to this, buddy. This is solid as a rock here. This is George Jones without a hat.
Yes. Okay, for the audience, because they keep coming. All right.
That's right.
In fact, I had to explain this to a friend of mine because he missed the start of the show at one point. I said, "Did you hear the deal that we got into when it came to George Jones?" He's like, "No, I totally missed it." I go, "So Tug almost got smashed on 285 by a pair of 18-wheelers.
Both of them
almost merging into right into his lane." And I was like, and what we discovered is that when it's Tug's time to go, he's going to be met by George Jones and Toby Keith, and they're going to take him to go meet Jesus.
That's right, because that's how much Jesus loves me.
Right. He's going to send 2 of his favorites, and he's going to. That's what he's going to do. But if George Jones shows up with a hat,
don't go.
We know this is not what you think it is.
Have you seen that hair? He would never cover up that hair.
That's right.
And
George
the
Jones
picture,
scenario.
And then the picture that I sent Los, which was just like the album cover.
Which is beautiful,
dude.
Beautiful helmet head.
I mean, I bet that hair never moved. I bet he woke up in the morning and didn't have to comb it. I bet it was just always like that. Always like that. And but yeah, so that's the George Jones story. In case you know, if you ever see George Jones reaching for your hand from the clouds, he's wearing a hat. You don't take it.
Don't take it
because that's the devil trying to trick you.
He's fooling you.
He's taking you.
Oh no!
He's going to try
like Beelzebub.
Right, he's going to try to take you to Hades. He's going to take you the other opposite of the direction you want to go.
That's right. If it ends up being skinny Toby Keith, you know it's a lie.
That's right. Toby, when he was healthy and
good, strong Toby Keith,
he was a old rigger. A roughneck.
He was a roughneck. He was an oil man.
That's exactly right. So now you know. Now you know who to trust and who not to trust. So big weekend. I know you got we got a Bama shirt in there. Jeray's got his Bama gear on. I got my Georgia gear. I'm surprised you got the Spurs on today.
I'm going Spurs right now. We're about to have the Wemby season. I'm enjoying it. I've been alternating between my Georgia pullovers and right now my Spurs gear. But a programming note. So, yes, at 3:30 tomorrow on our sister station, you can always listen to Georgia Tech. They're going to be hosting Virginia Tech.
That's right.
But we have Texas OU.
How about that?
So tomorrow, if you're ever out and about and you're wondering, how is Texas doing against those Sooners? Another SEC game, you'll be able to hear it right here on these airwaves and on the app, Texas OU Weekend. I still call it the Red River Shootout. It is the Red River Rivalry because that begets violence.
Yes, that's right.
No, Fair Park begets violence. That plays in Dallas. Anybody who's ever like, oh, you going to the fair? Yes, be out by sundown. It's like the most dangerous area of Dallas is where the fair is.
Get gone. Yeah, the Red River Shootout. That's going to be so cool to listen to it here on Extra. So if you love big-time college football, we've got a treat for you tomorrow night.
And then by the evening, by the time we get to 7:30, the longest rivalry in the South.
The Deep South's oldest rivalry, yes.
Georgia and Auburn will kick things off once again.
How long have they been doing that? Like 185 years or something crazy like that?
It depends on who you ask.
Right, it does. Right.
Because the two universities don't recognize the same number of games against each other.
That's right.
But they do recognize more games than anybody else.
Yeah, for sure, man. They've been playing this dadgum thing.
That's why they're always viewed as to me, they were always cousins in SEC college football until 2010. And Nick Fairley ruined all of that.
Yeah.
If you remember that night, I know 4 Hour Stephanie remembers it.
Yes.
But Georgia fans, if you remember that night, Nick Fairley, former first-round pick.
Yep.
God rest his soul, I believe. That defensive tackle decided to turn Aaron Murray into his very own piñata.
Yes.
And did it in a way that was not legal a lot of times.
It was ugly. Yeah, it was ugly. But, 1892, Wikipedia, which you can't trust, so I don't know why I'm quoting it, but just because it was quick in here, they say 1892. February 20th, interestingly enough.
Oh, by the way, Nick Fairley's still with us. Sorry, Nick.
Sorry about that.
I knew he had a big heart condition.
Yeah,
Wasn't
right.
sure.
Yeah, sometimes you don't know. We need to play that game occasionally, dead or alive.
Somebody right now is going, hey, man, something happened to Nick Fairley?
Especially like an Auburn fan listening right now.
Oh, no.
Like, what?
Sorry, Nick Fairley.
Yeah, we did not mean to. George Jones he had the hat on.
Yeah.
Nick was like,
Not you, this heart.
I know better. But yeah.
The rules.
That's right. 1892 is what they say. That's, again, Wikipedia, which is very, very inconsistent and unbelievable for the most part. But maybe they couldn't screw this up. Surely they can't. But yeah, man, that'll be fun. My son calls me. He's headed over to Charleston today. Or yesterday, be there through the weekend. You know, they have the whole weekend off for some reason, and they're really excited about it. And so he was headed over. He was like, "Daddy, what do you think about this Auburn game?" And I was like, "I think we'll be all right." He was like, "Yeah, me too." He was like, "I talked to Mama earlier. She said she didn't have a good feeling." No, I was like,
first off, don't ever go to Mama for Georgia talk.
That's right. Ever.
Nothing wrong with it.
No,
it's just in certain cases.
Don't look for true guidance there. A lot of emotion.
There's a lot of emotion. What I would point out is that the point spread does concern me. If you were to ask me, okay, what do you think the line would be on a game like this? I'd be like, I don't know, 8.5, 9.5.
Yeah, I was going to say, yeah, that's just.
It's less than that.
Yeah.
So we'll see.
Yeah, absolutely. Was it Auburn's defense that showed up all of a sudden?
Yeah, defensively they played very well. They give up sacks in bunches. If you do not sack the quarterback, I mean, we're talking, they played, and it was the A&M game, where I was shocked because we had gone to a family event, walked in, saw the late third quarter into the fourth quarter. Auburn had an opportunity to drive and make a play, and A&M gets a sack. And you hear over the game, that's their 10th sack of the. Do you realize how hard it is to give up 10 sacks? You realize how hard it is to give up like 4 sacks, 5 sacks in a game?
Yeah. You have to be. It's almost like you have to be
trying to do it.
And I watched the Auburn-Oklahoma game. And Oklahoma,
that was another one that got like 10 sacks on them.
And let me tell you, Auburn should have won that game. They absolutely should have won that game. And so we'll see. I feel fine about it.
The line is 3.5, by the way, as of this morning.
Yeah. I think.
Not that I encourage betting.
No, we'd never do that. Lord, no. Bet your money.
Unless you happen to play daily fantasy.
Gambling and things.
That's not, and daily fantasy is not betting.
It's not?
But if you
by the
win,
language?
if you win, like I did last night, we're in good shape.
Yeah.
That's a Hyundai that's heading back over here.
Attaboy. Mama loves to gamble. She was coming back from Pigeon Forge yesterday, and I talked to her a little bit while she was driving home with Aunt Ellen. And they had been up there.
You realize that every single time you set these scenarios up, I'm not sure if you're lying or not.
No, I swear.
I know you are, but it just sounds like, just like Jeray said the other day, it almost sounds like you're setting up a Beverly Hillbillies moment. It really does. You're like, so Mama's in the car, and the yak is sick, and she's with Aunt Ellen, and they were
going to see Uncle Ethos.
That's right. They were raccoon hunting a week ago. I don't know. So this time they were. I'm like, I don't know if he's lying to me or not.
All of it's true, man. There's nothing I bring to this show that's not true. Once in a while, we'll change the names to protect the innocent, but that's rare too. But anyway, so they were coming home, and Mama said, Jerry, we went to the Margaritaville. And she loved it. She was like, I couldn't afford to go there very often because they're real proud of their stuff. But I love it. So now I want to talk to my wife about taking her to Margaritaville.
Okay.
Like just for a couple days. Just to take her up there and let her go wild. And I don't even know what they have at the Margaritaville in Pigeon Forge, Tennessee. She said it used to be a Build-A-Bear.
Really?
I don't know if that's right.
If you would like to do, let's say if it didn't involve gambling.
But see, it's
got to have gambling.
No, I guess it wouldn't have to, but she does love to gamble.
Because we do have
church and gambling.
A Margaritaville in downtown Atlanta.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Yes. And
next to Centennial Park.
And we've stayed there before.
Oh,
it's
really?
a very nice property. It's nice when you check in. Now, it's not like the rooms are all like tropical or crazy or anything else. But they do have margarita machines in the rooms
let me tell you.
and a full kitchen.
Mom might like that.
And so if you are planning an event, let's say you're staying downtown, might want to consider the Margaritaville property.
Yeah, especially because y'all with kids, you come back and make them a good, healthy meal before they play.
Absolutely. We walk across the street to go over to the Georgia World Congress Center, and we do the volleyball weekend. We got Big South that's coming up in April or May, one of the two. And so we'll be there for almost a full week because it's 2 different weekends this year. In fact, okay, here's a side note for everybody. So I've been talking to the Big South people because we're going to have them on as part of the podcast.
Volleyballed that Los is hosting with his wife.
Volleyballed. You can check us out. Just, I don't know, hit me up. Here's the cool part. So it's gotten so big. They had 1,500 teams that registered in the first 5 minutes. It is now turned into the 4th largest convention in all of Atlanta.
Good Lord.
It's basically now turned into like having the Final Four in Atlanta every single year.
Goodness gracious.
That's the economic impact. It's massive.
No, it is. It's incredible.
So we stay in Margaritaville to add to the expense.
Yeah, look, why not? Why not? I would too. But yeah, it was just funny. Because I've been to Margaritaville, I think, a couple times, and it was fine. There wasn't anything that made me, think this is the greatest place that I need to go back, and stay for a long period of time. But Mama was just blown away, man. She just raved about Margaritaville.
I did one.
And Ellen did too.
In Las Vegas. They had one in the Flamingo. Now you might be saying
that's old Vegas, right?
Well, it's on the Strip, but that property does have kind of an old Vegas feel to it. So that's part of the reason why we wanted to stay there.
That's cool.
And for a bachelor party, it was one of the better options.
Come on.
But so our friend down the hall, you may know him as Road Dog. He handles he'll be in Auburn, Alabama tomorrow, handling the game broadcast for the University of Georgia.
You'll hear them. They'll
talk about Road Dog. That's who handles the engineering. He was the one where I go walking downstairs and he goes, "Oh, look, Margaritaville." And he took off in there. And I didn't see him for 2 days. If I wanted to go find Adam, I had to go to Margaritaville.
So I guess maybe there is some sort of magnetism.
I think it is, yes.
Man, it's so funny because, I hadn't talked to my Aunt Ellen in, I don't know, it's been probably a few months, maybe even 6 months, I don't know. But to hear, because Mama, I'm country. Mama's real country. Aunt Ellen is real country. I mean, it is so funny. Sometimes when you don't hear people that talk that way with that accent, with regularity. And I've not lived at home in many years, so I don't hear it as normally as I used to. Dude, it was so funny. And I loved it. I wanted to be able to talk more like her.
Oh, I get it. I mean, she sleeps in a deer blind.
Well, it's funny you bring that up. They were sleeping in a pull behind, was a fifth wheel trailer that my Uncle James has. And
Jerry's not wrong. It really does feel like the start of a Beverly Hillbilly scenario.
Mama said Aunt Ellen's had a good time, but she forgot her back pills, and the beds in the camper are real hard. So, not kidding. This is the conversation I had going up George 400.
I've heard these same conversations when my dad calls home to Alabama.
Yeah, no,
it is verbatim.
Isn't it great though? I love it. I can't get enough of it. So I need to call home more, I guess. I talk to Mom every day, but she's not up there. There's George Jones. That means it's Friday, boys and girls, on the Morning Xtra, Tug and Los, along with Jeray. We're glad that you're here, 404-741-1230. If you got good country stories about your parents, or maybe not country at all, you just got good stories about your parents, call us up. We'd love to hear them. And this Friday,
I'll take any one of them.
I'm
enjoying this on a Friday.
Telling you, man, there's nothing to put a
We've been
smile
doing
on
a
the face.
whole lot of craziness. Let's have at least a tempered level of craziness.
That's right, absolutely. And celebrate Friday. It's Friday, I'm free again. On the Morning Xtra, when we come back, ESPN suspended a high-profile analyst over his politics. Next on Extra.
Stream Atlanta's only conservative voice anywhere you go with the Xtra 106.3 app. Now equipped with Apple CarPlay. That means you'll always have Xtra's crystal clear HD stream right on your dashboard no matter where you are. Download the all-new Xtra 106.3 app now and start streaming.
Big moments deserve big-time craftsmanship. At Solomon Brothers Jewelers, we've been family-owned and operated since 1982 because we know what it means to show up when it counts. Jaron Solomon here, and that's why we're proud to be an official Tacori jeweler. Each Tacori ring is handcrafted in California, going through 20 elite artisans before it hits your hands. Not mass-produced, not generic, always personal. And with Solomon Brothers, you get lifetime cleanings, unbeatable financing, and the largest Tacori selection in Georgia. Stop by a store in Buckhead, Alpharetta, or Sharpsburg. Visit SolomonBrothers.com to book your private appointment. Solomon Brothers Jewelers, where love is in the details and legends are built to last. Solomon Brothers Jewelers, proud partner of the Georgia Bulldogs and official jeweler of the Georgia Tech Yellow Jackets.
Hey, this is John Flading from ATL Turfco. We're a family-owned and operated independent local company here in the Atlanta area. We've been in business for over 15 years. We install several different types of artificial grass. One is landscape, which looks like real grass for your lawn. The next one is pet turf. Pet turf is a little bit shorter than landscape, and it's more durable. And the other one is putting greens. If you can dream it, we can build it. Just go to atlturfco.com to schedule an appointment.
Atlanta's Mark from the Safe House. We have exciting news. We are moving to a new location to serve you better. And as you can imagine, we would rather sell our inventory than move it. So drop by our Ackworth location and save hundreds and hundreds of dollars on all in-stock safes. Brands like Champion, Browning, Fort Knox, and many others. We also offer professional delivery and installation. And the really exciting part is our new location in Alpharetta will offer an even better selection to suit your safe needs. So go to AtlantaSafeHouse.com. That's AtlantaSafeHouse.com.
Hi, I'm Chris Lalamia, owner of the Trusted Toolbox. Are home repairs piling up? Are you feeling overwhelmed? Relax. We've got you covered. From drywall dings and leaky faucets to deck repairs and trim replacement, we're your one-stop shop for everything for your home needs. No more juggling multiple contractors. Just call us at the Trusted Toolbox and we'll handle it. Your home deserves the best, and we don't want you breaking your back trying. Call the Trusted Toolbox today at 770-623-3097 or visit us at thetrustedtoolbox.com. The Trusted Toolbox, your one-stop shop for home repairs and more.
Amazon Business offers smart business buying solutions, so you can spend more time growing your business and less time doing the admin. Learn more at amazonbusiness.com.
I'm Ashley Dvorkin with a Fox Celebrity Profile with director Ben Leonberg of the horror thriller Good Boy, told from the perspective of a dog named Indy, who moves with his owner and best friend to a creepy country house where he soon finds something amiss.
We wonder when our dogs are staring at nothing or barking at an empty corner, our imaginations can't help but think there's something potentially supernatural and malicious at play.
The team worked around their star moving into the house featured in the film and leaning into Indy's natural detective skills.
Sometimes we would sprinkle his food or kind of make a breadcrumb trail with it to give him his marks.
They did try to hide any distractions.
He has a supernatural ability to hunt down tennis balls. We did need to, make sure that when we played fetch with Indy while living in the house, we did it not in the house, because as soon as we then start making the movie, his performance would evaporate.
Ashley Dvorkin, Fox News.
It's October 10th, and this is your Fox Daily Snapshot. Today is World Mental Health Day, established in 1992 by the World Federation for Mental Health. Mental health problems ranging from issues like depression and anxiety disorders to conditions like schizophrenia or bipolar disorder affect millions of people around the world. On this day in 1957, President Dwight Eisenhower apologizes to an African diplomat who was refused service at a restaurant in Dover, Delaware. Dying on this day in 2004, Christopher Reeve, bursting to superstardom as Superman, he was paralyzed in a horse riding accident in 1995. In 1987, English hard rock group Whitesnake tops the chart with the song Here I Go Again. People remember the music video starring Tawny Katane. I'm CJ Papa, and that's your Fox Daily Snapshot.
the stories that matter to you. These are your Georgia headlines.
Here are your Georgia headlines for Friday, October 10th. Police say a man was arrested after making a fake bomb threat at a bar in Marietta Square. Investigators claim 29-year-old James Lusk placed the threat after being ejected from the establishment. He's now facing charges related to the hoax. Police are also investigating a second bomb threat made at another Marietta business later that week. Hartsfield-Jackson is expecting heavy traffic this weekend as Metro Atlanta families head out for fall break for Fulton and Coweta County schools. Thursday saw over 100,000 passengers departing, and airport officials are projecting to see about 115,000 passengers today. The airport is urging travelers to arrive at least 3 hours before their flight to allow enough time for security checks. And the Braves have launched a new initiative called Hank Aaron Diamonds to fund major upgrades to baseball and softball fields in Atlanta public schools. The plan includes installing turf fields at all Atlanta public high schools. The project's expected to begin this month and is funded by the Braves Foundation, along with support from multiple corporate partners. Today's weather, clear, cool, and sunny with a high of 71. With your headlines, I'm Jerry Payne for Extra 106.3.
I quit watching ESPN as like entertainment, you know, the shows that they have years and years ago. The only thing I go to ESPN for is ball games, live ball games. That's the reason I go. And then as soon as they're over, I'm done. I don't stick around for, you know, post-game analysis or any of that stuff. I'm just out. I'm done. And then I learned that Sage Steele, who I've always been a huge fan of, before, I didn't even know her. I had no idea her politics.
I knew her father was a sergeant in the U.S. Army for the longest time, and that's where I was like, okay, I get where she's coming from.
But I know plenty of people that are there's plenty of people on the left that have that.
But I'm just saying, like, knowing when she talked about this country, before it went a little further politically, she talked about growing up in a military home, and you went, okay, I get where this is background. I get the background here.
So she is an extraordinary woman and has done extraordinarily well after leaving ESPN.
After being silenced by ESPN and having to sue them.
But see, that's the thing. It had to get to that point. And then it all came out that she was like, here were the questions I was told I had to ask Joe Biden and couldn't change anything under threat of my job. So it's not a surprise now that we fast forward to today and another ESPN, I would say, huge personality, a guy that's well recognized, that is well known in that audience, is another guy that's kind of being silenced.
So this is important if you have not caught up with it. And if you listen to Buck and Clay, part of the problem is Clay has been on vacation, so he's not able to really call balls and strikes on the noon to 3 show as he probably could when he gets back next week. So Paul Feinbaum, who very simply put is an Alabama institution in terms of doing a regional radio program it's just a circus. Okay? It is a bunch of callers and you say what you think.
It's like Swap Shop, but in
college
sports.
football.
Yeah, that's right.
Whatever the Jim Rome show was 30 years ago, he was like, I'm just doing the same thing. I'm doing it in the South. And it'll be a bunch of Auburn and Alabama people yelling at each other. Mix in some Tennessee and we're good.
Hey, Paul.
Hey, Paul. Now, ESPN, when they got in the business with the SEC network, decided let's bring on Paul Feinbaum. And again, I don't think Paul Feinbaum particularly does some great radio show or has some great insight, but I think he's a smart guy for recognizing what to build, how to do it, and then executing it in a very... It's not about what he has to say.
It's about what the callers have to say.
What the caller has to say.
Which is the most entertaining thing you'll see all day.
And that can be rare because I'm depending on somebody who's a non-professional to take care of my professional career.
Which sometimes, in Paul's case, has worked out really well.
So he's also been on SEC Network, and so that's what he does. Well, he did an interview with Clay Travis at Outkick, and this was a week ago. What occurred, remember, this is an ABC ESPN-owned entity. This is Disney. And Paul Feinbaum brought up that after you saw the killing of Charlie Kirk, that's when it really hit his heart because he had people that had brought up, hey, what about this open Senate seat in the state of Alabama? Would you be interested in running for this? And you had Republicans that were pushing this. This just wasn't like, I'm thinking about this. It was the Republican Party saying, you have enough name recognition. You could probably run for this and have a pretty good shot at it. And there'll be a handful of others that do as well. But he talked about that pool of like, maybe I should be doing something more because this is what Charlie was doing.
Dude, we've had this discussion specifically.
Yes.
Me and country radio. Do I love it? Sure, I love it. Do I love country music? Sure, I do. But is there something more important than somebody's new album? Yes, there is. Los has said the same thing. Is it fun to talk about the Bulldogs and the Yellow Jackets down the hall? Sure it is. But is there something more important than those things?
And that was the pool that Paul Feinbaum was discussing. Now, what was ESPN's response? ESPN's response was, when it came to their major network, ESPN, we're pulling him off his appearances because he's talking about running for office. Now, still kept him on SEC Network, still had him doing his stuff there. But a lot of people looked at it as, well, that's a censorship issue. Look what they did to Jimmy Kimmel, and then they put him right back on, but Feinbaum's been off for a week. Now, I get it. ESPN, I think, at this point is in the business of, if you start talking openly about running for office, we might have to do something. But somebody else has done that on their own podcast. That's Stephen A. Smith. Stephen A., he has rights to be able to say whatever he wants to. It's part of what his contract is. They cannot take anything he says in his podcast and go, well, that's going to hurt you over on the network. Can't do it. He's got carte blanche. But I want you to listen as Paul Feinbaum makes his first appearance back on ESPN after a week of a, I don't know, double secret suspension.
Yeah, right.
Like nobody would admit to it, but kind of felt like that's what it is. And he's talking to Stephen A. Smith, who is the highest paid employee at ESPN and basically gets to run how he wants to run. I want you to listen to Stephen A. Smith, who we talked about in the past. He's getting more and more into our tent.
Absolutely right.
Take a listen to how he addressed Paul Feinbaum.
First things first. First of all, it's good to see you. I missed you last week, buddy. Number one.
Before he got into anything, good to see you. First things first. It's good to see I missed you last week.
Highlighting the issue that had been...
You suspended this guy for talking about the possibility of running for office.
Highlighting the fact that I know what ESPN did to you. You know what... And now I want the listeners, in case they don't, maybe they'll do a quick search. Why was Paul Feinbaum not on ESPN?
And ESPN, their response to this was to run interference and say, no, we didn't suspend him.
Of course.
So you're just saying that for the first time during a college football season, this isn't like we're out of college football.
Yeah.
During the first time in the better part of a decade, he suddenly wasn't on all the shows that he typically is on when it comes to ESPN.
Los, you're trying to tell me that the Democrats, and let's be honest, they're at ESPN and ABC, they are a left organization. They support Democrats top to bottom. You're trying to tell me that they would change language to say, no, we didn't suspend him. You know, because that's what it seems like they're doing to me. We didn't do any of those things. We didn't tap a phone. No.
I mean, this is a company that when Mark Jones, and you're like, what is that name? Who's Mark Jones? Mark Jones is, quite honestly, and I don't use this lightly, he has said some of the dumbest things I've ever heard from a sports broadcaster in terms of politics. Mark Jones, during the height of 2020, talked about how he was concerned about, because what happens is when you are in a position of being like a broadcaster, one of the things that happens is when you're at the broadcast table during a major network broadcast, there are police that will, or security, that move to your broadcast location and make sure no one can come up. That's part of what's done as a security detail. Mark Jones brought up that he was afraid of being assassinated by these people because he's black. I know you roll your eyes. This is what ESPN was allowing at one point.
So they would allow that, but if Paul Feinbaum happens to mention that he might run for office, we're taking it off there.
ESPN took a man who was swimming as a woman at Yale and celebrated that.
Woman of the Year, wasn't it? The ESPYs or something like that?
ESPN went as far crazy left politically as you could. ESPN, ABC, Disney. And so when Paul Feinbaum brings up, I kind of feel compelled to perhaps look at this and maybe run in the state of Alabama for the Senate seat. And he catches a double secret probation suspension.
But they don't call it that.
Nobody calls it that.
We're not saying that.
And it only took Stephen A. Smith to kind of highlight that's right. What it was.
And I love the fact that he just dropped the cherry bomb. He didn't make a huge scene.
No.
He just made his point.
Missed you last week.
That's right. Don't know where you were, didn't even address why I missed you last week, hoping that you would go and look for it. I think that's a clever way of doing it.
Stephen A. Smith, I believe, is making $34 million a year. Stephen A. Smith gets to look over at ESPN, ABC, and just go, I'm your bell cow on this stuff. I just said something that took 3 seconds, but I made my point.
That's exactly right. Do you think that's why Trump is surging with black voters? Because I tend to think that there's something to this. Newsweek was reporting that he is absolutely surging in support for black voters, and it comes, and they even address it in there. Now they give you 10,000 reasons that it's not happening, but this poll, it's an outlier or whatever. But they couldn't help, but they had to tell you what the polling that they had gotten said. And when you think about that kind of stuff, Stephen A. Smith, who is obviously well regarded across all
sports media.
Exactly, dude. But then you have people that see what's happening in Chicago, and we've seen so many people saying, yes, we want the National Guard here. We want ICE here. We want to feel safe in our communities. I feel like all of these things are snowballing. It's not just one thing that caused this surge in black people supporting Donald Trump as the president. It's all of these things all together has finally snowballed where that community is like, enough. We are not going to blindly support anybody anymore. And by my point of view, you shouldn't.
So I've said this for years, and it took until 2024 to make it a reality. I said part of the problem is that the Democrats, they don't see the forest through the trees. As many people as they were letting into this country, they were telling them like, hey, who did this for you? Right, make sure you vote Joe Biden. Make sure you do this. And if you were from Central or South America, here was their big mistake. For those people that were coming in, what you were doing is you were doing two things. You were making the actual regular American Hispanic community pissed. And the thing you disregarded is they are highly Catholic. They are highly religious people. And so as you're pushing all of this crazy agenda, not only are you losing for the Americans that are here, but even the newly immigrated Americans. And then the more that you continue to bring in, the more that they were like, man, those Democrats are nuts. I know they let me into the country, but they're sitting here trying to downplay the importance of my religion. Well, I think what happened is very similar with young black men. Young black men went, these people don't represent me at all. In fact, they have zero interest in me.
And yeah, my best interest is not theirs.
I think these two communities, more than any other, woke up and said, hey, wait a minute. And maybe not even a wake up. It was just what happened with the Biden administration was so in your face.
You couldn't miss it.
You couldn't miss it. For every news story that talked about, here are these people, they just got in. Now they went, they're Chinese in origin, but they went through Central and South America, and now they're here, and they're living currently in a 5-star hotel in New York. And you're a young black dude going, you did what?
What in the what?
Huh?
What? I'm struggling through an economy that is sputtering. Now, they tell me it's not.
Everything's great. Your 401k looks genius, and you're like, I'm 20.
That's exactly, man. I've got 50 years before I'm going to need that, 45 years before I'm going to need that. And when all of that shakes out, you're just left with common sense. If they're not doing anything to help you, and I don't mean give you anything, I mean create an atmosphere so you can be successful. Why would you support that?
Again, this is just game theory to me, but I think it was so abrupt. It was so in your face. The Biden administration was doing things that the Obama administration would never consider. Now, it probably was being run by Barack Obama and he wanted to, but he recognized I can't have the legacy attached to me of fully open borders. It's political suicide. And it was. 7 swing states, popular vote, it was. But for the time being, you ended up costing yourself minority voters that saw, wait a minute, who are the favored people here? Oh, the ones that just got here? Okay, I'll vote against that.
The ones that are they're buying their votes, and it's very clear. What was it? They called it something. It was the white replacement theory.
Oh,
that was the guys.
Replacement theory was supposed to be a white nationalist belief.
Right.
And what my entire point was, it was never about replacement theory. It was never about white people. It was about
all of us.
It was about creating a new permanent
underclass. Yep. That will vote for them.
And that will vote for them no matter what. We're losing blacks as Hispanics. We need more people that we got covered.
But how convenient was it to say it's white replacement theory.
Yes, it was
that way it discredits the idea.
100%. Oh, and by the way, just for anybody who knows, I've brought this up before. Whenever Stephen A. Smith shows up to any of our broadcast studios, total gentleman.
Love that.
One of the best guys. When he comes to sub in and he needs use of your studios, awesome dude. Great guy.
Never had the pleasure. Hopefully one day. You've probably heard about the spying craziness that was going on under the Biden administration. We played a clip of Josh Hawley a couple days ago explaining just how filthy all this was. Well, this is just getting started. There's so much more to this story. We'll talk about that next. 6 o'clock hour is brought to you by Subaru of Gwinnett. This is the Morning Extra.
The latest sports news, powered by 680 The Fan, and driven to extra listeners by RBM of Atlanta in Sandy Springs, Atlanta's Mercedes-Benz connection since 1964.
Good morning. Here are your sports headlines for Friday, October 10th. From the Major League Baseball playoffs, a pair of Game 4s last night. The Dodgers, they're now moving on after walking off against the Philadelphia Phillies last night 2-1. The Cubs, they force a Game 5 after beating the Brewers 6-0. Tonight from Seattle, a do-or-die Game 5 as well as the Mariners host the Tigers. That'll be an 8:08 first pitch. From college football, 13th ranked Georgia Tech hosts Virginia Tech. That's going to be a 3:30 kickoff on Saturday. You can hear that game on our sister station, 680 The Fan, and the 680 The Fan app. On Extra Saturday afternoon, the Red River rivalry from Dallas features 6th ranked Oklahoma and Texas. That'll be a 3:30 kickoff. You can hear it right here. Later that night, 10th ranked Georgia will be on the road taking on Auburn. That's a 7:30 kickoff. With your sports headlines, I'm Carlos Medina.
I walked out of the house today like I froze to death. It was so stinking cold. There was just a hint of moisture in the air because it had been raining overnight at some point. The wind was kicking up and kicking around. I'm telling you what, I was so glad I was wearing this sweatshirt this morning because it is getting cold outside. So what does that mean? Here, not too long from now, you're going to flip on that heat. You know, right now you've not had to, right? It's been relatively comfortable for some time. Now, I had the AC on probably much. Definitely had the heat on. Ain't been no need for it. That is going to change. If you need maintenance, Central can provide it. If you need a repair, Central can provide it. But if you need a brand new carrier system from your Atlanta carrier experts, then dial them up at 770-GET-HEAT or go to centralheat.com because you can save $2,100 on a new carrier system. $2,100. But if that doesn't entice you enough, you can also get 60 months, 0% financing with approved credit. Not one, you get both. You can actually get both. So now's the time. If you need a new HVAC at your house, turn to the Atlanta Carrier Expert Central Heating and Air Conditioning.
Don't believe this nonsense you see on TV commercials about how uncomfortable a CPAP mask is. Take it from me. You wear one, especially the nasal pillow I use, for one night, and you will fight anybody that tries to take it away from you. But if they do take it away from you, you can get more at cpapsetc.com, cpapsetc.com, with a store in Alpharetta, same-day shipping. To your health, cpapsetc.com.
Attention extra listeners. The end of the year is closing in. Are your retirement plans ready? We at Master Plan Retirement Consultants are holistic retirement planners, including income and growth planning, tax strategies, and estate and legacy planning. Each piece of the retirement puzzle must fit together cohesively because we know a change in one area can inevitably affect the others. Our boutique team serves you with fiduciary care, ensuring every step moves you closer to a confident, sustainable retirement. Don't wait. There's still time to adjust your plan before year end. Schedule your complimentary consultation now at masterplanretire.com. Master Plan Retirement Consultants. Plan well and prosper.
Advisory services offered through Master Plan Retirement Consultants, Inc., a registered investment advisory in the state of Georgia. Insurance, tax, and commodity services offered through Fricks & Associates, Inc., DBA Master Plan Retirement Consultants. The aforementioned are affiliated companies.
You should never need financing for a simple garage door repair, but it's happening here. Out-of-town
companies have invaded Atlanta for a cash grab, charging outrageous prices. Hi, I'm Dan Watkins, owner of All Four Seasons Garage, Entry Doors, and Windows. Stay local and stay on budget for every opening of your home. All Four Seasons, trusted in Atlanta for over 25 years, exceptional customer service, and fair, honest pricing. When trust matters, trust us. All the number 4 seasonsgarages.com.
The Dean's List with Janice Dean.
A roadside service technician who turned a dead car battery into a teachable moment makes today's Dean's List. Casey Katz is a devoted father who recently found himself in a tough moment when his car broke down and he had to call AAA. Mike Law arrived on the scene, and instead of going about his business fixing just the problem, Mike decided to get Casey's 2 young sons involved to explain what went wrong with the car and how to fix it. Mike showed them the tools he was going to use and gave them gloves so they could feel like they were helping their dad. The moment was caught on camera, and people just loved the interaction between Mike and the 2 boys. Meanwhile, Casey says it turned a frustrating situation into something so special. Seeing his kids interact was a wonderful experience. He says he forgot he had to buy the new battery. Mike says he was excited to see the boys wanting to help and grateful to not only help their dad, but create a moment they won't forget. Janice Dean, Fox News.
The Fan and Extra 106.3 are proud to salute all those who've served our great nation at our 2025 Veterans Day Golf Classic. Friday, November 7th at Heritage Golf Links. Join all your favorite Fan and Extra personalities for a day of golf, prizes, and fun, all benefiting our friends at the Warrior Alliance. Special thanks to the Atlanta Braves, Corona, Beaver Toyota of Cumming, Harris Cherokee Casino and Resorts, Tito's Handmade Vodka, Freebird Southern Spring Water, Henri's Bakery, and the Collar Spot.
Tug and Los until 10. We're over here. Sorry about that. We're over here talking about washers and dryers and fixing things and HVAC, you know.
I felt very strong yesterday. I was able to get a couple things done around the house, and
Los turned into freaking Handy Manning.
Well, there's just been a lot of little things that now, as we're getting near the end of the high school volleyball season, we still got a few more weeks left, but there's things around the house that since we moved in April, I'm like, maybe I should go through those boxes, huh?
Yeah.
So I started just doing it, and then
run through there quick.
Everything starts to pick up. Like, oh, you know what I need? The shelves that I bought before from Home Depot, they're going on sale here pretty soon. I think I'm going to go order another one, you know?
Yeah.
So I can put another shelf over here. I can store that too. So a lot of little stuff.
I did, we have this light in our laundry room, and I took the cover off because the light had blown, and I expected it just to be a regular old light, just something normal. Turns out it was like these 2 circular lights that plug in like nothing I've ever seen before. And I wasn't sure if they even made them anymore. I mean, our house was built in 1985.
Did you look at them and you go, science?
Yes, kinda. Yeah, because I was like, I really don't know. But I'll tell you, AI to the rescue.
Oh, yeah.
I did a little picture of it. Upload it. They're like, oh, you get that at Amazon. Here's where you buy it.
All right, what did
Click the link.
What did you use? What
Google
system?
Lens.
Okay, I'm curious about that because I was looking at that catch-all that we have in the basement because we're not. I forget what you call it. We're not on like city water. We're on our own system.
Septic. Okay.
Septic. There.
Oh
you
yeah.
go.
So
Thank
you have your own septic tank. Okay.
Right. So
yeah,
it's a different sort of setup, and I've had to manage it when we used to have the property in Florida because we were on septic over there.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm looking at it and I'm going, it's kind of backing up a little bit. Well, I guess I remember kind of how to clean it. And sure enough, like I cleaned it out, it was gross. But then a little water with some dish soap and a little bit of baking soda and
pipes
voila,
cleaned out and you're
really good.
You got to get a box. It's got like the probiotics and stuff like that for the system. You flush it down every month.
Yeah. It's just it's a little thing. It's nothing.
I love. You should see the confidence that Jeray's speaking with. He's got his hand.
No, it's true.
Yes.
No, I know, but just with dude, that is confidence that was speaking right there.
I've dealt with a septic system
There was
before.
no question mark. His hand was on his, like the thinker.
Yeah, there's
just explaining it.
You don't want to have that thing dug up. That is not a small job.
No,
I know.
That's
my parents
that's
had to do
pricey.
that when I was a kid.
That is a pricey job, but as long as you're maintaining it on a regular basis, it's just one of those deals that I haven't had to do that in a home that's our home that we're there all the time until this one.
But I'm telling you, man,
Be careful about what goes down that toilet, too.
Yeah, you got to be real septic.
Shenanigans.
Female products? No. Never. That is a big no-no in our house.
Oh, and in anybody's house. And even in a regular old, sewer system. You want to be careful with that. Yeah, if it's not going to dissolve, that's why toilet paper. I mean, it just turns in, it just dissolves pretty much.
It just goes back to God.
Yeah, that's right.
See ya.
But I'm telling you, dude, I don't know if you have the Google app on your phone, and I don't endorse Google because I think they probably spy on you every day for every second of every day. Now they know what kind of light I have in the in the laundry room. Not that matters, but I'm telling you, man, you just hit this little button here. This little scanner button, it brings up your phone. You literally take a picture of it.
You fix this.
And
That's cool.
It brings up everything that might be associated with it. It's pretty impressive.
Take a picture of Los.
Fix this guy.
Fix this fella right here.
No.
Yeah, his wife is going to start doing it.
See if it pulls up the far right.
There's no fixing this one.
No, do the best you can. There's no fixing this spying scandal, and the Democrats really want to, man. They want to get away from it. They don't want you to know about it. Josh Hawley and those senators are pissed, so you're going to find out more.
This is just getting rolling. If you were with us yesterday, we talked about it's one thing to have what happened to Donald Trump, and as egregious as it is, there was a certain level of acceptance in D.C. at the time. Well, what if he is a Russian asset? Well, the New York Times is reporting it. Like they did the whole end-around game, right? That's why Comey has been indicted for leaking. That's where that is at. What was surprising to find out as the information got declassified was, well, you're also spying on 8 Republican senators, sitting senators, okay? Like, these are some of the most conservative people in Washington, including Josh Hawley, who was not impressed by any of this and was very angry about it.
He's pissed.
And same with John Kennedy. I mean, these people were extremely angry. Now, here was what the media tried to go with yesterday. The media tried to push it out as this. Well, it was all just part of the investigation into Donald Trump.
Right.
They just wanted to see who he was talking to. This is what was floated within, and this is when we talk about what the deep state is. The deep state is like, float this to your media allies, see what happens. And I love this. This from Julie Kelly. Again, you can hear Julie Kelly a lot with Clay and Buck. She is the person who's been following all the prosecution of the January 6 people. She ended up having this tweet, and I loved it. This post on X. She says, I know this will shock everyone, but FK is lying here. Calls between the president and GOP lawmakers, as well as calls between Giuliani and GOP lawmakers, were well documented by January 6th committee and Jack Smith's final report. So everything that happened in Georgia, everything that was going on in Florida, everything that was going on in New York, all of that's well documented. She goes on to say, FK refuses to admit DOJ, FBI obtained the records as part of a widening criminal investigation into the uncharged co-conspirators in the January 6th indictment and possibly includes members of Congress. They looked at it as January 6th gave them an excuse to start spying on Republican senators.
Dude, that is
how
so
dirty.
Filthy. I've got an idea. Can you imagine this group of people like, I got an idea. How about we roll it all into January 6th and then we spy on everybody? We will get them all.
Filthy. This is just getting started. Because I'm telling you, there is a difference in you did it to Donald Trump. Listen, half of Washington was willing to listen to see if it was true in 2016, 2017.
Even though it was completely all made up and we know that now. But there was, look, in the defense of people that didn't, at the time, I guess you could probably convince somebody. It seems ridiculous, but I guess somebody was convinced.
But when you are spying on 8 Republican senators, including Tommy Tuberville, another guy who didn't care for it, he's like, as John Kennedy put it, as Tommy Tuberville has put it, what's the predicate? If you're going to try and weasel your way into saying it's January 6th, all right, that's not going to fly. Like, that dog doesn't hunt.
Man, ain't that the catch-all for everything, though? Anything you say about the Democrats, they'll say, well, January 6th.
Yes, Charlie Kirk's been assassnated, but January 6th.
That was an insurrection. That's the worst of all.
Why are we having ICE facilities shot at in Texas? January 6th. Y'all are the violent ones.
That's right. Huh? So freaking crazy.
So as Julie Kelly was pointing it out, this isn't going anywhere. And if this is the lie that, well, they use their power based off of, well, here's the problem. All of that stuff according to what they already had with Jack Smith's final report, was already known. This was a fishing expedition. This was them trying to use a crime that had happened and expand it into a spying program. They got so caught up in spying. It's incredible how much this stuff's been going on for the better part of 7 or 8 years.
Watergate, they went into a hotel room to try to find some information. That's what they did. This is layers and layers and layers of spying on now a person that was campaigning for president and him while he was president, raiding his home, charging him with craziness, using January 6th as the catch-all to go in and spy on senators. Dude, if you don't see it now, if you're a Democrat or a leftist that don't see it, you're willfully not seeing it. You know.
I can't wait to hear at some point when she does get out there with it. So one of the most conservative senators in the entirety of the country by vote is Marsha Blackburn from Tennessee. That's another person. When you look at the spectrum of who they spied on, they basically took 8 of the most conservative and like, let's spy on them. Let's see what we can get on them.
Let's see what we can get on them. Dude, dirty, low down, filthy.
It's not going anywhere.
It ain't. Thank goodness. And I want to see them brought to justice. I love seeing Comey indicted. I love seeing Letitia James indicted.
And we got to touch on that one, too.
At some point, it is I'm so ready for them to get what they deserve. Because if they don't, they'll continue.
There's some poetic justice with Letitia James right now.
Yes, there is. I'm going to go after you for mortgage fraud while committing mortgage fraud.
What did they tell you? Don't break the law while breaking the law.
Yeah, that's right, and she did. When we come back, the Democrat language has shifted to fixing health care. Next on Extra 106.3.
Support the advertisers and partners that share your values. Give our Extra advertisers the first shot to earn your business. They will deliver for you every time and support the Extra community like no one else. Connect with all of our partners online at extra1063.com.
You and your buddy. You've been through a lot with each other. The ups and the downs. He's been with you every morning, noon, and night. You've traveled the world together. Heck, he was even with you on your first big date. But have you noticed he's struggling lately? Not performing on the job. He can't even stand up straight anymore. He's wanting to cry out for help but just doesn't know how. He needs Dr. Deal and Total Body Therapy of Georgia. They can give him the gift of good posture this year, help him stand proud and become all he was meant to be. Now, take him by the hand, look him in the eye and say, "I appreciate you, little fella, and we're going to get you some help." We're going to call 404-777-1911. We're going to visit stopmyed.com. We are going to say goodbye to erectile dysfunction forever. Total Body Therapy of Georgia. It's a hard conversation to have, but it's one worth having. Total Body Therapy of Georgia. Online at stopmyed.com.
Fox Facts.
Here's a surprising connection. Guinness Beer and the Guinness Book of World Records are related. In 1951, Sir Hugh Beaver, managing director of Guinness Brewery, was hunting in Ireland when he argued with friends about which bird was Europe's fastest game bird. They couldn't settle the debate because there was no reliable reference book. Beaver realized pub arguments like this happened constantly, and people needed to settle disputes about world records. So in 1954, he hired twin brothers Norris and Ross McWhirter to compile a book of superlatives. The first Guinness Book of Records was published in 1955 as a marketing tool. The idea was brilliant. Give pubs a reference book to settle arguments, and customers would stay longer drinking Guinness. The book became wildly popular, eventually becoming the world's best-selling copyrighted book. Matt Murphy, Fox News.
Fox in the fast lane.
Shane Van Gisbergen is the road course king, but that was only part of the story at the Bank of America Roval 400.
In a very humble approach, Shane Van Gisbergen answered all the questions and said, "I'm not necessarily going to be granted a win in this race, but he's got the win."
Sound courtesy of USA Network as Van Gisbergen won at the Charlotte Motor Speedway Road Course for his 5th straight road course victory of the season. But Sunday's race was about the NASCAR Cup Series playoff drivers. Ross Chastain finished the race in reverse, but the final round of 8 playoff spot went to defending series champion Joey Logano.
We promised you it was going to be a wild finish. Did you ever think you would see that?
Logano finished 20th and advanced to the next round by 4 points over Chastain. The Cup Series now heads to Las Vegas Motor Speedway for the South Point 400 on Sunday, the first of 3 round of 8 races. For Fox in the Fast Lane, I'm Joe Morgan, Fox News.
The Kimmer Show is live on your ride home on WFOM and W292 EV Marietta on Dickey Broadcasting Station, Extra 1063.
President Trump did not win the Nobel Peace Prize. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News. Though some of his supporters thought he should for brokering a ceasefire in Gaza. More on that in a moment. So who did win?
Maria Corina Machado has been hailed by the Nobel Committee as a key unifying figure in a political opposition that was once deeply divided. She's been living in hiding for the last year, but has stayed in Venezuela despite threats against her life. Machado wanted to run for president against Nicolas Maduro, but she was disqualified.
That's Fox's Jonathan Savage. Now to that ceasefire.
A lot of the Muslim and Arab countries, they're celebrating. Everybody's celebrating. Everybody loves the deal. So it's a great honor to have been working on it.
President Trump will go to the Middle East this weekend, invited to address Israel's parliament Sunday as Israeli troops reposition in Gaza as part of the plan that'll have Hamas release the rest of the hostages Monday or Tuesday. 20 of the 48 are believed to be alive, including Amri Moran. His brother-in-law, Moshe Lavi, just told Fox.
We're so hopeful that this is going to be carried out, but we're trying to be grounded in reality as much as possible because we've been disappointed time and again before.
New York Attorney General Letitia James is calling her indictment on fraud charges baseless and political retribution by President Trump, who she had vowed to target when taking office. Then last year, the Democratic Attorney General won a civil fraud case against then-candidate Trump and his company in New York, but that massive fine imposed as punishment was overturned on appeal. In the case against James,
prosecutors say she falsely claimed a home in Virginia as her second residence while using it as a rental property to obtain more optimal loan terms. The U.S. Attorney for the Eastern District of Virginia releasing this statement, quote, "The facts and the law in this case are clear."
Fox's Chandler Painter. Day 10 of the government shutdown, which will last till at least Tuesday. That's when the next Senate vote will be on funding. America's listening to Fox News.
I'm Ed Evans, CEO of Consumer Cellular. Ever wonder why the big wireless companies want you on an unlimited plan? It's because they need you to help cover the costs of the 20-somethings who are using a lot of data every month. Fact is, according to the latest research studies, most people 50 and up, like me, only use 12 gigs or less each month. Don't get bamboozled by big wireless. At Consumer Cellular, pick what suits your needs. Whether it's 1 gig, 5, 10, or unlimited, the point is, pay for exactly what you need and nothing more. We use the same towers as the big guys, but since we don't own and maintain them, we can pass the savings on to you. Our plans start at just $20 a month, and you'll get the best customer service in the business. I want to invite you to join the millions of people who choose something better than big wireless, because if you're not using all that data, you're probably getting used.
Call 1-888-FREEDOM or visit consumercellular.com/facts. Plans include $5 credit for auto pay and e-billing. See site for additional facts.
Finally, there is conservative talk in Atlanta, Georgia.
Tug and Los until 10 on this Friday. Thank God it is Friday. Got college football coming up. You got playoff baseball. It's amazing. Fridays are amazing, and we're so glad that you've chosen to spend this Friday with us on Extra 1063. Good morning, Front Office Los.
Not everybody is happy it's Friday. Not everybody likes their Bret Michaels Friday.
Well, which one of the devil worshipers are you referring to that don't love Friday?
If I was running down just a handful of them, let's say if you committed mortgage fraud, or if you're running for governor of Virginia, or if you happen to be the minority leader in the Senate or the minority leader in the House. These are the people that are looking at this thing going, what a problematic week.
This is going to be terrible.
Now it's Friday?
Yeah. Now we got to go through our weekend with all this heaviness on our shoulders. Since you touched on a few of those, let's maybe.
Which one do you want to start with?
Well, I think the one that I saw this morning that was the most compelling was the gubernatorial debate in Virginia, where Spanberger, who is still endorsing the AG, Jay Jones, after he fantasized about murder and killing children and just all these nutty things. I was blown away during this debate. They asked Spanberger, do you still endorse this man? And, dude, she danced all around it. Winsome Sears jumped in, and they're like, Miss Sears. And she kept
down.
She kept saying she's not going to change her endorsement. She's not going to drop that. And by golly, she didn't.
So there's no way outside of an internet feed would we be able to watch this live. And let's face it, between playoff baseball and Thursday night football, I'm not locking into this sort of gubernatorial debate. But when you talk about clips in this modern era, how things move around
so quickly.
By 10 o'clock, everyone who is interested in this had seen Winston Sears going at this woman, pointing out how she won't answer you. And not only that, when it came to men and women's restrooms, another aspect where she won't answer. It's almost like they know, wait a minute, you've got these pillars of what you believe in, but you won't say them out loud.
Which is insane. You should be, if you love it and support it that much, why wouldn't you be boasting about it? Why wouldn't you do that if you support it so much and you think it's the right way to go? You should be boasting about it. I boast about loving the Lord. I boast about being a Georgia football fan. I mean, give me any illegal immigration. We should close the border. People that are here that shouldn't be should go home. I'm not running from anything that I believe.
I think about if there's anything I've ever shied away from, and the only one in the interest of winning an election was, I talked about when abortion comes up, you say, that's been kicked back to the states. Well, if the states decide it, whatever your community decides is going to be the law of the land. That's the way that I pushed it, as far as that's how I would answer that question if I was ever running for public office nationally. The fact that they cannot address so much of their legitimate platform. I mean, at this point, the platform of the Democrats does include violence. It does include activist violence. And so when you're asked about it on a debate stage, it's valuable to them. And so she can't downright say, Abigail Spanberger, she can't deny it. She can't say that it doesn't have a place because they're all advocating for it. And yet, if you say it out loud, you are then going to have a good amount of people look at you like, wow, y'all really are crazy now, huh?
And dude, the people that lit up Winsome Sears' email inbox, libs of TikTok have shared some of the mailing that they got, the emails they got from the people who support Spanberger for Virginia. And dude, I can't read them.
No, they're so vile. Way too volatile and vile. It's amazing how you get the really hardcore racists from the remnants of the Southern Democrats. Huh.
And let me tell you.
How strange.
And let me tell you, it is that.
Yeah.
The worst things that you've ever heard in your life, and that's what this woman was emailed last night while running for. This is a woman, and get this, Los. This is a woman who
she's a vet.
She's a veteran, Marine veteran. She's an immigrant from Jamaica. Her family came here legally. If I'm not mistaken, when she told her story one time, she said her daddy had $1 in his pocket. They came here with nothing. This woman joined the Marine Corps, got her education, became the lieutenant governor for Virginia, and is now running for governor of Virginia. The loving left, you would think the loving left would hold her up on a pedestal the way they say they support people like her. They don't, because she's got an R next to her name, and they hate her, and the words they use to describe her are filthy, vile, disgusting.
Well, they saved their biggest and best racism.
And let me tell you, dude, if I pass this over to you.
For black Republicans and black people who won't vote for them, even if you're not a Republican.
The nicest thing, the only thing I can read to you from this incredible page, the only thing I can read to you is a black woman for Trump is like a snake loving a mongoose. That's the nicest thing that is said. Everything else is so vile, I wouldn't repeat it even if I could. It's unbelievable.
But when we talk about how these people talk amongst each other.
Yes, and that's what this is.
This is how they talk amongst each other. Now, they were so angry at that gubernatorial debate and Winsome Sears catching Abigail Spansberger on a number of issues that their only retort, their only response was to send nasty emails.
But that's not saying enough, man. Nasty emails is a polite way of saying it, because these are the most vile things I've ever read. And it's that deep South Democrat that you've talked about, that we've talked about a million times. And it's on display. It is alive and well.
Oh, yeah.
In those emails.
Oh, yeah.
God.
I mean, I thought they were the party of compassion, right?
Ooh, there's no compassion in those emails.
I mean, one of the great misnomers, one of the great lies that the Democrats have run with for years, and that there are people that will buy into it when they're like, well, the party switched when it came to their belief system. I'm like, no, they didn't. No, they didn't. In fact, you always start from, well, you do realize the Republicans were founded as an abolitionist party, right? Mm-hmm. Like, you do recognize that this is what the idea was. Well, but then they switched. It's a lie. It's always been a lie.
They switched. Unreal.
I was like, what the Democrats, if you want to talk about switching, what the Democrats did is they invented a new hamster wheel. They're like, well, if we can't enslave them, why don't we find a way to do it economically and with government handouts? That way we keep our thumb on them and make sure they keep voting for us, because apparently we can't intimidate them anymore. They keep coming after us with this whole KKK stuff when the federal government's trying to get rid of our army.
Let's also tear apart the family base.
Yes.
Let's set into motion, because it's very simple in the United States, and we've shared it. Charlie Kirk shared it. So many people have shared it. Get married, have kids, stay married, work hard. That's the recipe for success in the United States of America.
Yeah, you will avoid poverty more times than not.
How do we pick that apart? And that's what these emails, that's what it looks like to me. It's filthy, dude. Morning Xtra and Xtra 106.3.
What about mortgage fraud?
Next.
Somebody else who's having a bad, Spansberger, she's having a bad morning.
Letitia James.
She's having a real bad morning.
Well, but she says, this is all just a witch hunt. This is much to do about nothing.
So I found this to be very interesting. This was from Nate the lawyer. And the reason why I enjoyed this is because there's a couple aspects of this case that I didn't know about. Like, I've tried to stay up on this. We had pointed out how it's actually difficult to prove mortgage fraud in the state of New York. That there are certain conditions by which you could say, well, I bought the home and I intended it to be my primary residence. That creates a gray area that actually works out well for mortgage fraud. I bought it intending it to be my home.
Right.
And that's what Letitia James was trying to do. But here was an issue. And this is what Nate the lawyer points out when he says, here's why the New York Attorney General has some real issues. It says, number one, he claimed the Norfolk home as a secondary residence to get a better loan term. So we knew that went along. She's did this a handful of times. Here was the important part that I did not know about. Signed a second home rider promising to live there. 3, actually rented it out to tenants. 4, reported rental income on her taxes. 5, told insurer it was owner occupied. So she ends up signing paperwork saying it will be the primary,
knowing that it wasn't.
Yet she's claiming revenue on her taxes as a rental property, and yet then with the insurer, because it's different when you say it's your own home, your owner occupied, you get a different rate. I've had to do insurance on vacation properties and second homes, rental property. It's different than what you get on your primary.
Somebody's in trouble.
Yeah.
And
she
then
signed additional paperwork.
Yeah, verifying what she was supposed to be doing. And
had she just said, I meant it to be my home. And no, you did additional paperwork and you went through the taxes to do this. She has big problems. This is great.
And then throw on top using her dad listed as her husband. That's the other thing. What is it with Democrats marrying brothers and marrying fathers, some to get them citizenship, the other to get better deals on their mortgage rate? What is it about marrying family that Democrats, why do they choose to use that route?
Now, that's another question that would have to be addressed by somebody who's paid more attention to that aspect of it, because we're like, wait a minute, that's not your husband.
Yeah, it's your daddy.
were you trying to line out a different rate based on here's our dual incomes? Because
what would be the reason? What's the reason behind it?
Because you could always say, and this is probably how I would play it, if I was the criminal type or I was trying to, I don't know,
skate the system,
create mortgage fraud on a bank.
Yeah,
I would probably claim that I messed up and that this person is actually a co-signer with me.
Yes.
Because a parent can co-sign with you.
For sure.
Right? That's not as big of a deal. But from a legitimate legal standpoint, he wasn't signed on as a co-signer. He was signed on as your husband.
Hubby. And another thing I wouldn't do if I planned on committing mortgage fraud, I wouldn't tweet out at 4:28 in the afternoon on May 30th, no one is above the law. I think I would avoid that. I think I would try to just let that go, because at some point when that turns around to bite me in the backside, I don't want to have to look at that in my timeline or people sharing it on social media and tagging me in it every day.
The audacity to go after a former president on a charge that you damn well know you're actually doing. I mean, think about how freaky that might be.
I'm going to prosecute for mortgage fraud while committing mortgage fraud.
You happened to talk about a former radio host, and we were talking about it off air, but the joke was about how this person would joke about consuming adult material.
Yes.
Like that was the shocking thing that they would bring up, like to get the room going.
Yeah, that's right.
All right, imagine if you were accused, this is what your jam is, and you're accusing somebody of doing this and doing this illegally.
All while doing it.
All while doing it.
Yes.
I think I'd find a different charge.
Yeah.
All right? Like,
yes.
If
I'd be like, I can't bring that
I can't bring that charge to the table.
I know you want me to. I'd love to, but I can't.
Or did you bring it because, well, you're pretty familiar with it?
Maybe.
Maybe. He's probably doing it just like I am.
Isn't that the communist playbook, though?
Yes. Accuse them of what you're doing.
It's the playbook. She probably didn't even think about it. It's so common for the communists to go, well, we're gonna accuse them this anyway. I'm doing it, but let's just stick to the book. Let's just play it the way we always do.
This is why I love X, and I'm not as active. I'm more of like a passerby.
Yeah, me too. I'm a viewer.
I'm a quick jump shot guy. Mm-hmm. But yesterday called for that moment, and when this all broke. Sad face, fake Hitler.
Yes, that's right.
Like, what happened? What's the matter, JoJo?
Sorry, you're having a tough Friday.
I think it sounds like you're having a tough day, aren't you?
That's exactly right. My
Which
goodness.
really gets the left going. They're like, did he use sad face Hitler on us again? I'm like, yeah, I did.
From Jojo Rabbit.
From Jojo Rabbit.
So good.
What seems to be the problem, JoJo?
Letitia. What's got you upset?
Why are you so sad?
Right.
What's the matter?
Yeah. Abigail, what is it that's got you all upset about debating Winsome Sears? What's the matter?
And then we continue to the Democrats in general, where the poll numbers, and I think we watch Morning Joe in part so that we know exactly where their soft spots are. Man, they haven't brought one thing up about any government shutdown that we've been watching for an hour and 15 minutes because those numbers are not helping them either.
That's bad news for them.
The only place it's helping, the 18% who complain about fighting against the administration and y'all aren't doing enough. All right, you're hoping to fundraise off it. You're going to, this is your show of force. All right, listen, we'll shut this thing down for a couple weeks and then we'll sign the deal. And then we'll say, listen, we fought for it.
We did our
best.
Nothing we can do.
Like right now, you have Chucky Schumer in the glow of, told you we're fighters. Yeah. We're fighters.
Yeah.
Fighters.
Yeah,
this is hurting y'all more than it's hurting us.
And can you imagine, and Scott Jennings talked about this, he's like, these people are always playing to the wrong side. They're always playing to the 20. He said 20, but in regard to the Democrats, it's the 18%. Everything you do is fighting in the wrong direction. At some point, you would think somebody would say, hey, let's rethink this. We're fighting for the smallest common denominator. We're not going to help ourselves at all by doing any of this stuff. And yet, they continue to fight like heck. And to my knowledge, outside of Stephen A. Smith and maybe John Fetterman, those are the only two that are even making any sense at all from the Democrat perspective.
There's a reason why the early aughts, the 90s Democrats, who are still around, when you play their audio, you go, hey, you're on my side. Like, how radical of a shift have they moved so far to the left that I don't know how you ever bring it back. I don't think you really can. Not at this point for the stuff you're advocating for. To think that at one point you had somebody like Hillary Clinton who was talking about how, well, if you're here illegally, you got to go. We can't say that anymore.
But the crazy thing is, Los, if they ditched the 18% of people that they're dying for, that they're trying to convince that they're fighters, if they ditched them, they'd pick up half the 80%. I bet.
Like, if you were to start, first and foremost, if I was running the Democrat Party, as I like to joke, it's going to cost you, but I'll put you in a better place. Like, some of the first things we're getting rid of is like, hey, this whole transgender thing, all right, I need you to wad it up and throw it away.
It's dangerous.
I was like, you know what actually you should go with? Let's go with the traditional gay and lesbian community. And let's continue to back them. And let's take this mental illness and let's move it away. Oh, by the way, and then it would be one thing after another of let's strip away the half of 1%, the quarter of 1% issues that you continue to argue on that's making 80% of the rest of the Democrats not like you, and a majority of the country for the first time in 20 years vote against you.
We could help the Democrats. I'm glad they won't listen to them or to us.
We're waiting for the show.
Yeah. At some point.
We'll do MSNBC.
When they put us up there, we'll teach you how to fix the Democrat Party. They would never do it. They would never do it because the 18% that they're fighting for is too valuable.
If you don't watch out, we're gonna have to be right behind Megyn Kelly.
Hey, girl.
now that she's gonna have her own channel.
No, I know, right? Everything she touches is seemingly turning to gold. Abby Phillips.
After the whole NBC thing, which she made a lot of money.
Yes, she did. She made a grip of money and now is using that money to make herself more money and more prominent. No doubt about it. When we come back, Abby Phillips wonders what changed to allow peace in the Middle East. I think I got an idea. Next on Extra.
Get the latest breaking news and insight from the biggest conservative voices in the South when you follow Extra 106.3 across all your social media platforms. Find us on Facebook, X, Instagram, and YouTube at Extra 106.3.
I've told you many, many times that if you do work with Southern Exteriors, like to the exterior of your home, you're going to have one job, one manager, and zero chaos, which is fantastic because my wife and I, it's been about 6 or 8 months ago now, was in about 6 or 8 month just disaster. We were doing an interior remodel and we did not have a foreman on site. We had to fire the first company and we were relatively happy with the second company. If you're tired of calling companies like that, trying to get something done, there's either so big they keep you on hold or so small that you cannot get anybody to help you because the people doing the job, they're reporting to the person that you contracted with. They're not telling you anything. So if you have any question, you've got to track somebody down. It's not the way it works at Southern Exteriors. Every job gets its own dedicated project manager. I can't tell you how valuable this is. Having experienced this recently, the chaos stops when you call Southern Exteriors. Don't fall into that trap of just the guy down the street. Go with somebody that's been doing this for 25 years. Did you realize that most exterior remodeling companies only last 4 years? Southern Exterior's been around for 25. So just something to keep in mind. One project, one manager, zero stress for roofing, siding, gutters, windows, doors. Done right the first time. Call 877-9-SOUTHERN or go to southernexteriors.co. It's southernexteriors.co.
Hey, Atlanta Braves fans, this is Kelly Kroll asking you to step up to the plate for the men and women who have served our country and protected our freedom. The Warrior Alliance, an official community partner of the Atlanta Braves and the Atlanta Braves Foundation, is helping thousands of veterans to achieve success after military service. Either you or someone you know has served and deserves our support. The best way to say thank you for your service is by helping a veteran round the bases on their journey home. Donate today at thewarrioralliance.org.
October is Breast Cancer Awareness Month, and for Stovall, this is a cause that's near to our hearts. We all know someone that has been affected by this terrible disease, and we have partnered with many of our vendors to raise money for this worthy cause. During the entire month of October, 100% of the proceeds of our selection of pink plants, as well as 10% of all Rainbow irrigation sales, will be donated to the National Breast Cancer Foundation. All Stovall locations will also be giving out free gifts for any donations made in store. For a full list of pink plants, as well as other ways to show your support, check out our website at StovallINC.com.
The Dean's List with Janice Dean.
A roadside service technician who turned a dead car battery into a teachable moment makes today's Dean's List. Casey Katz is a devoted father who recently found himself in a tough moment when his car broke down and he had to call AAA. Mike Law arrived on the scene, and instead of going about his business fixing just the problem, Mike decided to get Casey's 2 young sons involved to explain what went wrong with the car and how to fix it. Mike showed them the tools he was going to use and gave them gloves so they could feel like they were helping their dad. The moment was caught on camera, and people just loved the interaction between Mike and the 2 boys. Meanwhile, Casey says it turned a frustrating situation into something so special. Seeing his kids interact was a wonderful experience. He says he forgot he had to buy the new battery. Mike says he was excited to see the boys wanting to help and grateful to not only help their dad, but create a moment they won't forget. Janice Dean, Fox News.
Donald Trump's America.
President Trump says an epidemic of left-wing and Antifa-inspired violence is escalating.
These are agitators, anarchists, and they're paid. And you'll find that out. You'll be finding it out very soon.
Last month, the president designated Antifa as a domestic terror organization, directing federal agencies to disrupt operations and individuals funding them.
Probably some of the people I know, some of the people I dine with. But if they do, they're in deep trouble.
At a roundtable this week with independent journalists documenting riots in Portland, Oregon, and elsewhere, President Trump accused news outlets of ignoring Antifa.
If you give a great answer, they don't put it on. If you give a horrendous answer, or even if you give a great answer, they make it sound like it's not a great answer. They're very dishonest.
The president has been blocked in court, at least temporarily, from deploying National Guard troops to Portland. At the White House, Jared Halpern, Fox News.
The stories that matter to you. These are your Georgia headlines.
Here are your Georgia headlines for Friday, October 10th. Police say a man was arrested after making a fake bomb threat at a bar in Marietta Square. Investigators claim 29-year-old James Lusk placed the threat after being ejected from the establishment. He's now facing charges related to the hoax. Police are also investigating a second bomb threat made at another Marietta business later that week. Hartsfield-Jackson is expecting heavy traffic this weekend as Metro Atlanta families head out for fall break for Fulton and Coweta County schools. Thursday saw over 100,000 passengers departing, and airport officials are projecting to see about 115,000 passengers today. The airport is urging travelers to arrive at least 3 hours before their flight to allow enough time for security checks. And the Braves have launched a new initiative called Hank Aaron Diamonds to fund major upgrades to baseball and softball fields in Atlanta public schools. The plan includes installing turf fields at all Atlanta public high schools. The project is expected to begin this month and is funded by the Braves Foundation, along with support from multiple corporate partners. Today's weather, clear, cool, and sunny with a high of 71. With your headlines, I'm Jerry Payne for Extra 106.3.
That doesn't make me a bad guy.
No, it doesn't. No, it makes you very logical. If you're asking me, I see the logic in the argument that you're making.
Because in April, and we used to talk about it on the show when I was moving, I was trying to donate as much stuff as possible. And a lot of it was old kid stuff.
But when y'all were moving from house to house, so there's all kinds of stuff.
Sorts of stuff.
I mean, anybody that's moved knows how much you come up with.
The women's shelters got all of the old toys. Goodwill would get, if there was old patio sets or anything else. But every now and then there was just stuff that couldn't go anywhere. And so Publix would get it.
I mean,
namely the dumpster behind Publix.
Well, but I would imagine you probably shop at that Publix often.
For a decade.
Yes. So
for 15 years, actually.
You've contributed, and now they've helped you.
And so now, because
it's a win-win for everybody, really.
I agree. And we're all looking for W's everywhere, right? Mm-hmm. I mean, y'all win, I win.
Yes.
It works out fine. Now, because it's out of the way, I've been using the dumpster at good old days.
I hope Kat's not listening right now.
And if anybody hears about that, I was just kidding around.
I will deny it. Deny. No, but look, that's another
couple
place.
Items that just had to be sent away.
That's another place that you contribute to and have brought others to contribute with you.
Right.
At good old days. It seems like, again, a fair trade-off.
So if there's a piece of styrofoam that there's nothing else I can do with it and it won't go in the trash can.
And you happen to notice there's a dumpster back there that's relatively empty, going unused.
Now, right now in the back of my car, there's a bunch of boxes, and per Forsyth County's recycling center, they've all been torn down.
Okay.
So I'm going to go drop them off at the recycling center.
Fair.
But if I happen to run into something else that needs to find its way to a dumpster, I
find the dumpster.
Right.
He goes from being Handy Manny to Inspector Gadget. He figures it out. That's what he does. And don't pretend. You listening right now, don't you pretend.
Like you don't do this.
Like you've never done something like this. You're looking at us and looking at the radio with your judging eyes.
You're judging me because there was a neighborhood being built down the street from mine and they had wide open dumpsters for a while. And now, for some reason, the guys are keeping a closer eye on them because they don't want random rugs to be in there.
Yeah. Yeah. Don't pretend you've not done it. I've done it. I've seen my parents do it. Everybody's done it once or twice. Everybody's done it once or twice. So.
Oh, by the way, this is from Steven. He just wanted to let me know. 23 years of home ownership, never committed mortgage fraud once.
Oh, wow. We were talking about the last segment.
Good job, Steven.
Yes.
From Letitia James and her mortgage fraud case.
And this is something Los has done in the last 6 months, twice.
I have now, I was going through it mentally. It's now 6 homes bought and sold, and not once, and in multiple states, and some of them being second homes / rental properties, and yet not once have I ever committed mortgage fraud, which I've been told by Cassie Hunt from CNN, everybody commits mortgage fraud. No, Cassie.
No.
You can convince me that people fudge a little bit on their taxes.
Yep.
That they might color a little bit outside the lines here and there.
Don't report their Venmo earnings.
Right. But when it comes to sitting next to attorneys and signing legal documents, most all of us, I would say 99% of the country goes, yeah, that's my primary residence, or it's not.
Not Big Tish, though.
But not her.
She's like, I'm willing to.
You're not Adam Schiff.
Yeah, exactly. I'm willing to. But Letitia, though, I'm willing to sign an addendum saying, yes, I verify that everything that I put there is the truth. I'm going to sign a second piece of paperwork affirming the truth that I've made and told these lawyers. And then I'm going to go do it anyway.
And then I'm going to claim the tax revenue on my the revenue on my taxes.
I mean,
I'm signing a second piece of paperwork to say this is my primary residence, but yet when I filed my taxes, I'm pointing out the rental income from this property.
As she's doing it, she knows exactly what she's doing. It's not a mistake. It's not a mystery. She knows exactly what she's doing. She knows exactly what she's going to do. And given the chance, probably do it again. Now, maybe not now, but since she's been indicted. But prior to, because she'd never been caught, she was never going to get called on this. And had she not went after Donald Trump for mortgage fraud, boy, isn't it funny? I've heard people call it karma before. I don't know if that's the true definition of karma. I don't know. But it certainly fits the bill if you ask me, just looking as an outsider looking in.
I would venture to say, considering that Donald Trump was indicted and tried on a very bogus, phony case in the state of New York, in which case the banks that he borrowed money from were all paid back with interest. And she tried to claim that Mar-a-Lago, the basis by which that he obtained the loan, was only worth $18 million. And so he overestimated his net worth when it came to his property. That was the case. There was no victim. Now, the fun part about it for, what was it, Big Tish?
Yeah.
Big Tish is actually going to have to look at the fact that she saved herself more than $18,000 in mortgage dollars she would have had to commit to this by claiming this is a primary residence versus secondary. If she's done this a multitude of times, which it looks like that's what she did, I wonder how many thousands of dollars she's going to have to come up with. Like, this could be one of those, like, $50,000 cases to, like, hey, and oh, by the way, you owe the banks that you defrauded this much money.
And we're going to give you this really new fancy orange jumpsuit for a little while.
You're going to love it.
You'll get to wear it every day.
It's an XL. You'll love it. It's comfy.
That's right. Yeah, it's very roomy. Zips up in the front.
Exactly.
Quite stylish.
A lot of room in the hips. You'll love it. It's going to be great.
That's exactly right. We'll see how it all comes down. Who knows? But I'm cheering for justice to be done. I'm not cheering for or against anybody. I just want justice done. How about you? 404-741-1230.
If you catch a case, make your case. And as we've seen with Donald Trump, these cases were so bogus that they've all been thrown out.
Yes, they have. Justice has been done. Let's hope that trend continues in America. So Abby Phillips, I want you to hear from Abby. She's over on CNN. You see her oftentimes in a roundtable debate discussion at 4 or 5 people. Scott Jennings.
Does she do a good job as a referee? Because I kind of feel like she interjects at times.
Oh, she does. Yeah, for sure. There are those moments where you're like, okay, you seem to be kind of trying to play it right, but
like you have to.
She can't get out of her politics overrides that sometimes.
To me, I believe that you have to step way out into the fringe on the left for Abby Phillips to try and reel you back in.
Yes.
And I do believe at times she does that, but I also believe that sometimes when she introduces her own data or what she's going to bring up, I'm like, that's not correct.
Yeah, that doesn't sound right. She wants you to know, and she wants you to consider this. She says, why didn't Biden get this historic peace deal done? Listen to her talk about it. Listen to this.
This was not doable when President Biden was in office.
I think the biggest problem that the President Biden had is there was no pressure from Qatar, from Turkey, from Egypt. They were actually facilitating in many ways what was going on. And that is really ultimately how it all came together.
So, I mean, but I think by saying that, it's sort of an acknowledgement. Trump has changed that dynamic.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, no, I think
absolutely.
that.
I mean, he's clearly.
I don't know how he
changed.
And I think there's a lot that remains to learn about what prompted that change. But I do agree. Yes,
something has changed. Yeah, somebody that's not a vegetable. Somebody that actually can think, doesn't need place cards to remember the people he's talking to, including Hillary Clinton and other prominent Democrats. They needed to print out place cards with questions and answers, and this is who you're talking to. He couldn't remember the people that he knows. So, yes, something has changed, and that is a president that actually loves this country. So when everything he's done is to the benefit of America. In the long run, a peace in the Middle East is a benefit for the United States. So he started from that premise. I love this country. I'm going to do something great that will benefit this country and then also benefit the world.
This is multifaceted to me because I don't believe it to be fair to look at the Biden administration and say, well, why didn't you get this thing done? In part because you had to take so much of Gaza and turn it into dust before they recognized there's no chance here. I mean, they knew going into it, you're committing a raid where you're going to kill 1,000, 2,000 Israelis, and you're doing it for the glory of Allah or whatever you happen to be pushing. That we've taken out the great Satan. Like some of them who were calling parents to tell them how many they killed. You had to basically have your entire community turned into dust before you finally came around to, okay, maybe peace does sound like a good idea. I'm dealing with Cujo over here. All right? Like that had to happen.
It did, but how did they not know that? Which I think is a valid question. Bill Clinton told them in 96 it wasn't going to work, a two-state solution. Everything that had to be done that has been done now, we've known. It's never been a mystery.
But then there is the other end of the argument here. And to me, it's this. Whenever we've had so many of these peace deals, it's always been the third party, like, let's send them Henry Kissinger,
right?
Or let's send them Jimmy Carter.
Yeah,
it's always like a former president. None of that happened. It's all strictly on Donald Trump and this administration.
Right. Yeah,
like there was not one point where you went, hey, listen, George Bush is going to get involved in this, or you know what? We feel like Barack Obama can be that kind of person to step forward and broker a peace. I mean, that used to happen for 30 or 40 years, and it was always somebody outside the administration who was trying to broker a deal to help exactly. Yeah. And nobody else did any of that stuff for this administration.
Donald Trump did it on his own.
Yes.
And here's the deal. The more you read about it, you realize that Donald Trump used his greatest ability as a negotiator to make it happen. Erdogan in Turkey, he wants the F-35s. The fighter jets. Guess who is working on a deal now to potentially give them? They're part of NATO, to potentially give them the F-35s. You want to know about UAE? They wanted semiconductor or computer chips.
Computer chips?
Yeah, they wanted that so they can expand their AI capabilities. Guess what they're getting? It was Donald Trump being able to negotiate with these people, and they get something, Trump gets something. It's the way he does everything, Los. That's how he's accomplished everything in his career, from being a very young man all the way to president and brokering a peace deal. He knew if I give them something they want, they'll give me something. That's the way negotiations always work.
It's not complicated. He wrote about it in the Art of the Deal. You can go. You don't even have to read Art of the Deal. You can
just watch him.
You can just take a Cliff Notes version of it, and what you'll recognize is, wow, that's how he's handling foreign policy. At times it's going to be more hardline. Other times it's going to be more giving, but it's what does it take to get the deal done? And every deal is different.
That's right. I don't even love giving the Turkish the F-35. I don't.
But if I can work their compliance in on something else?
That's exactly right. If they jump on board for peace in the Middle East that actually will stick. I mean, who knows if it'll truly stick, but people that have never signed on before are now signing on.
Let's face it. What goes on around the rest of the world, people are typically seeking two things: economic security or the security of their country. If you help provide either, there's some leeway into a deal with something else.
Qatar, that's the deal with them. Donald Trump has promised if anybody ever attacked, we would come to their aid. They're not part of NATO, but he's giving them a promise that is very similar to that. Look, Qatar's no fool. They know who they're surrounded by.
We have a very similar deal with Taiwan.
That's exactly right. Almost identical. That's exactly right. When we continue on Extra 106.3, not that anyone pays attention to Oprah these days, but she was way off about Trump and women. We'll hit you with a little extra flashback next on Extra 106.3.
The latest sports news, powered by 680 The Fan and driven to extra listeners by RBM of Atlanta in Sandy Springs, Atlanta's Mercedes-Benz connection since 1964.
Good morning. Here are your sports headlines for Friday, October 10th. From the Major League Baseball playoffs, a pair of Game 4s last night. The Dodgers, they're now moving on after walking off against the Philadelphia Phillies last night 2-1. The Cubs, they force a Game 5 after beating the Brewers 6-0. Tonight from Seattle, a do-or-die Game 5 as well as the Mariners host the Tigers. That'll be an 8:08 first pitch. From college football, 13th ranked Georgia Tech hosts Virginia Tech. That's going to be a 3:30 kickoff on Saturday. You can hear that game on our sister station, 680 The Fan, and the 680 The Fan app. On Extra Saturday afternoon, the Red River rivalry from Dallas features 6th ranked Oklahoma and Texas. That'll be a 3:30 kickoff. You can hear it right here. Later that night, 10th ranked Georgia will be on the road taking on Auburn. That's a 7:30 kickoff. With your sports headlines, I'm Carlos Medina.
This is Window Nation, your source for affordable replacement windows at the highest quality. So if your old windows have you boiling in the summer and freezing in the winter, you need the pros at Window Nation with installation precision and experience that are second to none. Their custom windows are guaranteed to be a perfect fit, and they're backed by the best warranty in the industry. Go to getwindownation.com or call 866-90Nation for your free estimate. And for a limited time, buy 2 windows, get 2 windows free, plus no payments for 2 years.
Hey, this is John Flading. I'm the president and owner of ATL Turf Co. We have become a highly sought-after turf installation company in the Atlanta and North Georgia luxury residential market. Big reason for that is our installers are ATL Turf Co. employees. We do not outsource labor. They are trained to be experts in the turf installation process, drainage, grading. Just go to atlturfco.com to schedule an appointment.
Faith, family, freedom. These are the cornerstones of America and the foundation for a successful life. But today, all three are under attack. Crushing debt, out-of-control spending, and reckless policies in Washington are threatening your savings, your retirement, and your future. Hi, this is Glenn Beck. The only financial advisory firm I recommend in Atlanta is Nicholas Wealth Management. David Nicholas and his team believe protecting your money is about more than wealth. It's about defending your faith, your family, and your freedom. If your hard-earned retirement is left exposed to market chaos, higher taxes, or inflation, what happens to the life you've worked so hard to build? For over 20 years, David Nicholas has helped families right here in Atlanta fight back with retirement strategies built to better withstand uncertainty. Call Nicholas Wealth Management today, 404-890-5606, or visit nicholaswealth.com. Aim to safeguard your future today.
Nicholas Wealth is an independent financial services firm that uses a variety of different investment strategies.
Fox Facts.
Here's a surprising connection. Guinness Beer and the Guinness Book of World Records are related. In 1951, Sir Hugh Beaver, managing director of Guinness Brewery, was hunting in Ireland when he argued with friends about which bird was Europe's fastest game bird. They couldn't settle the debate because there was no reliable reference book. Beaver realized pub arguments like this happened constantly, and people needed to settle disputes about world records. So in 1954, he hired twin brothers Norris and Ross McWhirter to compile a book of superlatives. The first Guinness Book of Records was published in 1955 as a marketing tool. The idea was brilliant. Give pubs a reference book to settle arguments, and customers would stay longer drinking Guinness. The book became wildly popular, eventually becoming the world's best-selling copyrighted book. Matt Murphy, Fox News.
Fox in the fast lane.
Shane Van Gisbergen is the road course king, but that was only part of the story at the Bank of America Roval 400.
In a very humble approach, Shane Van Gisbergen answered all the questions and said, I'm not necessarily going to be granted a win in this race, but he's got the win.
Sound courtesy of USA Network as Van Gisbergen won at the Charlotte Motor Speedway road course for his 5th straight road course victory of the season. But Sunday's race was about the NASCAR Cup Series playoff drivers. Ross Chastain finished the race in reverse, but the final round of 8 playoff spot went to defending series champion Joey Logano.
We promised you it was going to be a wild finish. Did you ever think you would see that?
Logano finished 20th and advanced to the next round by 4 points over Chastain. The Cup Series now heads to Las Vegas Motor Speedway for the South Point 400 on Sunday, the first of 3 round of 8 races. For Fox in the Fast Lane, I'm Joe Morgan, Fox News.
The Fan and Extra 106.3 are proud to salute all those who've served our great nation at our 2025 Veterans Day Golf Classic. Friday, November 7th at Heritage Golf Links. Join all your favorite Fan and Extra personalities for a day of golf, prizes, and fun, all benefiting our friends at the Warrior Alliance. Special thanks to Mizuno, Georgia Drive Chevy, First Watch, Scana Energy, Matthews Cafeteria, Crown Royal Canadian Whiskey, Patron Tequila, Surfside Iced Tea and Lemonade Vodka, and Weber Ranch Vodka.
Tug and Los until 10 on the Morning Extra. We've already made it a fun Friday. We love Fridays around here. We love Thursdays. Thursdays are, because you're so close to Fridays, you can't touch it quite yet.
Monday's my second favorite to Friday.
But because there's so much that we've not been able to talk about, and now we have the opportunity.
Yes.
Yeah, that's a good day.
Wednesday is the one day where I'm like, man, oof. You can teeter either way.
Yeah. Later in the week, though, you should be tired on Friday because you've had this long work week. Friday, I have so much energy, I can't help it. It just jumps out. And maybe you're that way, too. 404-741-1230. At Extra 106.3 across the social media platforms. I think this week we've had probably 2 or 3 flashbacks. We did a flashback with Margaret Thatcher talking about socialism, where she said, socialists don't like for you to be able to choose socialism because you will not choose it, which makes a lot of sense. And then we had Barack Obama from, 10, 12 years ago when he was talking about the border. He's like, we gotta make sure we secure this border. It's got to be done. He would never, in the current Democrat Party, he would never be able to say that.
Never. You can't talk about trying to secure the border with this current climate and knowing what damage it did to the Republicans for 4 years.
Now let's flashback to Oprah Winfrey.
1 year ago.
Yeah.
If not, yeah, now that I think about it, it was basically as we got into the fall, as we're coming to the end of the Kamala Harris campaign, she's bringing in all the heavy hitters. Now, remember, Oprah, they didn't pay Oprah. They paid her production. They paid her production company.
There we go. Yeah.
It's like they paid her production company $2 million. Like, kind of sounds like you paid Oprah $2 million to show up. Isn't that illegal? No. We paid her production company.
She had to pay her folks.
She had to bring her people in.
Yeah, she had to pay them, rig up the lights and things.
We had to make sure that we secured her endorsement. So Oprah, now, and looking back on this, if you're going to use scare tactics, talk about the all-time backfire, because the talk had been leading up to that election. Will suburban women come back to Donald Trump? They were largely gone in 2020, although so many of the statistics, you got to throw them out the window for 2020. But that was the question, because the polling showed suburban women could go either way. And when it came to economic policy, when it came to securing the borders and law and order, the suburban women came home to Donald Trump. That's the way they did. They basically said, this other side is not taking care of us here. I'm going to go with this guy because at least I know what he's going to do. And largely that's why he's enjoyed the poll numbers he has.
Because he's done exactly what he said he was going to do on the campaign trail.
At no point did he ever say that women were going to lose rights. In fact, one of the only promises he made was, we're going to protect our women, even the ones that don't want to be protected.
We're going to drag you across the finish line.
We're going to drag you across the finish line. It's like, we're going to respect women. Even the ones that are, what do you mean a man's going to respect me? Yeah, tough luck. You're going to be respected.
Can you imagine being against that? Like having a fundamental difference with someone saying we want men to respect women and have respect for women. I was raised that way. I can't imagine having some sort of opposition to that.
It's not as strong as, hey, we're going to try and cure cancer. What do you mean? But it has that like same feel of, why would you reject this? Well, let's go back 1 year ago, and we're now in the finishing kick of the campaign.
Flashing back on Extra 106.
Sit this one out. We don't get to sit this one out. If we don't show up tomorrow, it is entirely possible that we will not have the opportunity to ever cast a ballot again.
They really were riding the whole women will lose the right to vote and there won't be any more elections.
It's like the same scare tactic with climate change. If you don't do what we tell you do and pay for this, that, and buy this and do, buy all the things that we need you to buy, change the things that you like now and do them differently. If you don't do that, New York City's going to be underwater. It's not even going to be exist anymore.
I started on this week for a flashback segment. I just want to do it bigger, so it's going to take a little extra time. I want to take all of An Inconvenient Truth and go through.
You brought that up yesterday. Yeah.
All of this is what's going to happen. And in 15 years, and we've only got 10 years, and if we don't do this, we'll not be able to inhabit the planet. Well, we're all still here, and things are bumping along quite well.
Here's the goalpost.
I mean,
they just keep scooting it back.
We didn't end up playing it, but I do have it set aside. So Bill Nye, 1 year ago, he was also going on the networks, and his entire point was, he didn't outright say vote for Kamala Harris. But his entire point was, well, if you don't, now we're going to see horrible weather continue. We just went through the, first time in a year where we didn't have a major hurricane?
Yeah, didn't happen.
Now, do you think that was because of Donald Trump? No.
But had it happened, it wouldn't have been because of him either.
But I was also told that the reason why you were going to get more of them is that if you voted for him.
But Los, we had the Palisades fires.
Oh, yes, we did.
The climate change. Remember Bernie Sanders he railed about how those Palisade fires in California were because of climate change.
And guess who they just locked up out there?
It was a young person.
He was from Florida.
Yeah.
Strangely enough. And a person we know that had donated to Kamala Harris and to Joe Biden. A person that hated Donald Trump.
And just didn't take care of his business the way you're supposed to.
They were able to use his cell phone. They were able to use all of the things that all these companies buy, all that information about you. It is used in ways that you probably have never thought about, including if you commit a crime like this cat. They used all of the things, the data that's out there. Some people call it digital exhaust. The data that's out there that tracks you right to it. And he was the only one in the area for miles when the fire started.
So it's important to always be able to go back and, in my opinion, mock these people, even if it's Oprah. To just be able to say, remember when you said this? Because the further away we get from it, I think it loses a little bit of steam. But if you keep it in mind, it becomes one of those great weapons that you get to use when you're having that discussion in the arena of ideas. Hey, I know we've got an election coming up here. I know we're going to be doing some primaries here as we get into the spring, and then as we get a little bit further into the fall, we'll have a set of midterms. Didn't you tell me, or did Oprah not say we're not having elections anymore?
I thought
I was aware.
Wasn't the dictator going to get rid of? He's scrapping elections altogether.
And it's strange that we are in New York City whenever we are, Tug. Wasn't this supposed to be underwater? Because I was told this place was going to be underwater like 15 years ago.
New Orleans was supposed to be off the map. Wasn't it supposed to exist
it's gone
anymore? Because it's under sea level to begin with.
In fact, the water is going to take out all of South Georgia, and it's only going to be North Georgia remaining by the time we get to 2025 if we don't do something.
We should look at the map, make sure we haven't missed something, Los. Maybe it has come true. We just don't know. We've not been down there.
They only have two answers for this. You were wrong or you were lying. Which one do you want to be?
I'm fine with either one because I tend to think it's the latter of the two because they use your fear to get you to vote for them. They use your fear. That's what Oprah was doing. She's trying to scare women to death.
You're trying to entice votes to secure power. And one of the ways that this goes on is by, it's not only the inducement theory, the whole I'm going to give you a vision of a better future and I'm going to give you stuff. It's different when you think about the 60s Democrat, the John F. Kennedy Democrat, which is, no, I'm going to set up conditions by which you can succeed on your own. That is so foreign to the Democrat Party now. But that's our message.
Anybody can succeed in America. Anybody. Now, are you going to be a multimillionaire? Probably not. I'm not either.
Ask not what your country can do for you,
but ask what you can do for your country. JFK said that.
How foreign.
There's nobody in the Democrat Party that would
ever
say that because they would like to overthrow the United States of America. They've made that abundantly clear. When we come back on Extra 106.3, it's nuts that the current day Hitler is getting support from Israelis and Palestinians. How could it be so? Next on Extra.
Time for the Bortz Report, exclusively on Atlanta's only conservative news and talk station, Extra 106.3.
I know what you're thinking. You're wondering what a national icon such as myself does when he finishes with dinner, usually around 5:30 in the afternoon. TV sucks. There's no Frasier, there's no Seinfeld, so I watch videos, crime videos on A&E, Cops Rewound, Court Cam, love them all. And here are some of the things that I really enjoy. Probably you too. Sovereign Citizens. What a collection of idiots. They get pulled over for having a fake license plate or going too fast. I'm not driving, I'm traveling. Let me see your driver's license. I don't need a driver's license. I'm traveling. I'm not driving. The part I like is when they drag him out of the car and throw him on the ground. People getting thrown off of airplanes. Why is it so often Frontier Airlines? It is so entertaining watching people get thrown off of airlines that some YouTubers have even built fake airline cabins so they can film these little skits on their own and get more views. Shoplifters, they're always fun. Lately, they've been yelling, "You can't touch me, I'm a minor," or "I'm 7 months pregnant, leave me alone, don't touch me." Doesn't work. And there's one universal truth out there. When people are being arrested for committing petty crimes, you will almost always hear, "I know my rights." Yeah, like hell you do. Or, "I can't breathe. I can't breathe." That one's almost mandatory. Karens, don't get me started. I like it when they try to stop skateboarders in public spaces, or when they lose their minds because somebody is videoing them. I like the fat one that laid on the ground, shaking like a big tub of goo. He's filming me! He's filming me! Filming you? There's no film in that phone, you moron. You can thank me later, but a good way to get entertained every evening is to find some of these programs and watch them and enjoy them. Neil Bortz, Extra 106.3.
Fox on Football. I'm Jared Max. Week number 6. No more teams with undefeated records. Both the Bills and the Eagles lost Week 5. For the second time in 4 weeks, 40-year-old quarterback Joe Flacco will start a game against the Green Bay Packers. September 21st, Flacco led the Browns to a 13-10 win over Green Bay. Sunday, he'll face the Packers defense again, but this time wearing a Cincinnati Bengals uniform. Flacco was traded from Cleveland to Cincinnati this week. Tom Brady and Kevin Burkhardt will carry the Fox TV broadcast from Baltimore Sunday at 1 p.m. Eastern Time when the 1-4 Ravens host the 3-2 Los Angeles Rams. Ravens quarterback Lamar Jackson doubtful to play. He missed last Sunday's loss with a hamstring injury. Also on Fox Sunday, the 4-1 Jacksonville Jaguars host the 3-2 Seattle Seahawks, and the 4-1 Indianapolis Colts will be home against the 2-3 Arizona Cardinals. In London, 9:30 a.m. Eastern, the 0-5 Jets take on the 3-2 Broncos. Jared Max, Fox News.
WFOM and W292 EV Marietta, a Dickey broadcasting station. The 8 a.m. hour is brought to you by Central Heating and Air.
Hamas is on the clock. I'm Dave Anthony. Fox News' 72-hour window to release the remaining hostages opened earlier this morning when the Israeli troops completed their pullback to a predetermined line in Gaza. 20 of the 48 hostages Hamas still holds are believed to be alive, including Omri Moran. His brother-in-law Moshe tells Fox,
"We're so grateful that the president, the peace president, has achieved what people thought was impossible."
And President Trump plans a trip to Israel in the next few days. Some Trump supporters have been clamoring for the president to win the Nobel Peace Prize for brokering that Gaza deal. And yesterday he said,
They gave it to Obama for doing absolutely nothing but destroying our country.
Well, President Obama did win in the first year of his first term, but this morning the prize went to someone else, not Trump. The White House communications director just posted on X, the Nobel Committee has proved they play politics over peace. So who won? Maria Corina Machado, a Venezuelan opposition activist living in hiding. She told Fox last month,
There are more than 800 political prisoners that are under the horrible conditions, inhumane conditions. They have been tortured. They have been hurt. Everybody that raises their voice here in Venezuela is threatened.
President Trump's National Guard deployment to suburban Chicago blocked by a federal judge days after a similar ruling in Portland, Oregon, where he also wants troops to protect immigration agents after anti-ICE protests.
Judge April M. Perry says deploying troops anywhere in the state would, quote, only add fuel to the fire. The temporary restraining order comes after some local and state officials sued the Trump administration over the troops' deployment. They called it a, quote, unconstitutional invasion.
Fox's Christina Coleman. New York Attorney General Letitia James has been indicted, charged with mortgage fraud. The Democrats' reaction?
This is nothing more than a continuation of the president's desperate weaponization of our justice system.
Last year, James won a civil fraud case against then-candidate Trump, but the massive fine as punishment was overturned on appeal. America's listening to Fox News.
I'm Ed Evans, CEO of Consumer Cellular. Ever wonder why the big wireless companies want you on an unlimited plan? It's because they need you to help cover the cost of the 20-somethings who are using a lot of data every month. Fact is, according to the latest research studies, most people 50 and up, like me, only use 12 gigs or less each month. Don't get bamboozled by big wireless. At Consumer Cellular, pick what suits your needs. Whether it's 1 gig, 5, 10, or unlimited, the point is, pay for exactly what you need and nothing more. We use the same towers as the big guys, but since we don't own and maintain them, we can pass the savings on to you. Our plans start at just $20 a month, and you'll get the best customer service in the business. I want to invite you to join the millions of people who choose something better than big wireless, because if you're not using all that data, you're probably getting used.
Call 1-888-FREEDOM or visit consumercellular.com/facts. Plans include $5 credit for auto pay and e-billing. See site for additional facts.
Grow your business organically with Atlanta's fastest growing news and talk station, Xtra 1063. Get started today by emailing sales@xtra1063.com.
Tug and Los till 10 along with Jeray. Thank you for being here on a Friday. Thank God it's Friday on Xtra 1063. Rocking out to the Doors this morning. That's a good day right there. Do you listen to the Doors? Either of you listen to the Doors often with regularity? Because I do.
I love Love Me Too, Johns.
God, so good. Dude, there's so much. My favorite, and it's my wife's least favorite song of all time. Like, she really don't like a Doors song that is my favorite of theirs. So I try not to play it when she's around necessarily because she doesn't enjoy it, but Alabama Song is my favorite.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Show me the way to the next whiskey bar. She was like, it sounds like a creepy circus. And I was like, yes. Yes, it does.
You ever listen to the end?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
You want to get to the Oedipus section?
Yeah. I try to steer away from it. Yeah. That one, yeah. As much as I love the song, there's
5 to 1.
Yeah.
So many good tracks.
Yeah. Dude, there's so much that I mean, Roadhouse Blues.
I've karaoke'd a little bit of Doors in the past.
Yeah.
You know, you get a few drinks in you.
Yeah. You get a little loose.
And everybody knows
Jim Morrison.
Everybody knows the Doors.
Yeah.
How can you not? That's not one of those where you get question marks.
No, and rightfully so, man. My father-in-law told me, this was when, years and years ago, he's really into music, and we connected on that when my wife and I first started dating. That's kind of what we connected, sports and music. And he said, I went to see the Doors play one time. I didn't even know who they were at the time. I went to see whomever they were opening up for, and he was like, it was crazy. Jim Morrison never faced the crowd. It was back in the early stages. And if you've seen the Doors, any of the documentaries or the movies about Jim Morrison, he was a social anxiety, I suppose, but he would never face the crowd. It wasn't for a long time.
Behind the drum set.
Yeah, right. It wasn't for a long time that he turned around. But my father-in-law got to see that. I was so blown away by that. I was like, are you serious?
Turned around and took all his clothes off.
Yeah, right. Got all naked.
Yeah, he was a shy poet.
And
then he turned into a rock star.
And man, things went south from there. But boy, while it lasted, it was good.
Stardom isn't for everybody, right?
I like fat Jim Morrison at the end.
Okay. If there's something that I do love about the Doors, as far as the movie, like Val Kilmer is obviously as Jim Morrison. As I think when he's on the plane, he's playing with his belly.
That's the exact scene.
That's so funny. He's like, look at it, like a tank. I'm a big tank.
That's so good, dude. That movie was so good. I love the Doors movie. It's one of those that I try to watch relatively often, once a year or something like that. But gosh, there's so much. Break On Through, People Are Strange, Riders on the Storm, Light My Fire. There's just so much of that Doors music. So great. Tug and Los until 10 here on the Morning Extra. 404-741-1230 at Extra 1063 across the social media platforms. Since we talked about music and now we should throw in just a little piece of sports, you have to say that it's a sad day because Sister Jean has passed. Did you see this?
Yeah, 106 years old.
Loyola Chicago, remember they had the run in March, and when they were in the tournament.
That was like a decade ago. But
Has it been that long?
So they had that run, and I think they made it all the way to the Sweet 16. But then every subsequent time they made the tournament, Sister Jean was always there. And there was something about her, such a sweet lady.
So precious.
And in a weird way, like the good luck charm as they're on the run, because every one of those players during that time period would go to her after the game would be over with to go give her a hug.
Absolutely precious, man. That if there's people that need to be, or things that need to be defended in America in 2025, it's children, it's the elderly, and it's animals. I mean, those are the people that need to be looked out for, and I hope that's something that America will focus on and keep in the forefront of their thoughts.
It reminds us, as far as the peak was 2018, so we're talking almost a decade ago.
Gosh, it doesn't seem like that.
When they went on that run, and it was Sister Jean, no matter what. And as it points out, she joined the program in 1994, so she was always around.
Gosh, so precious. That's a great picture you have of her.
Oh, yeah.
She's just this gigantic smile, and she loved basketball. And there's something about this, and I don't know if y'all have seen this or experienced this before. There is something about older women that love sports. A friend of mine's grandmother loved the Braves. I mean, watched them every night on TBS. My grandparents didn't. Neither one of my grandparents cared about sports or any of those things. So I didn't have that, but I always marveled at his grandmother, how much she loved them Braves. Man, she did not miss a game. And it, it's kind of that way with Sister Jean. There's just something sweet about a woman, an elderly woman that loves sports.
I just like the story. The story was always so much fun. And that's this whole thing. I always talk about it's the ride. This is the maturing end of me. The whole theory of love your life like your sports.
Yeah.
All right, there was a time when I was younger and I might throw something at the television.
We've all been there.
We don't do that anymore. Mostly.
Yeah. Maybe once in a while it'll rear its ugly head, but I've got it under control most of all.
There are times where I will get up and say, I am sick watching this team. This is brutal. I can't stand this.
That's right.
But I'll go about my day. But it's about the ride. It's about just those little moments that you get, that, especially with a football season, or even when you're the NCAA tournament. You win, and you get a week to feel like you're on cloud nine. Everything in the world. Food tastes better. The drinks are colder.
Yeah.
The pillow's better. Pillow's colder. And then you get around to the next one, and you see what happens. And in tournament play, it's so cool win and win and win and just keep moving. But then when it's over for everybody except one team every year.
And once you get that perspective, once you realize that, it changes. It does change a little bit. You don't get as upset. And let me tell you, it's probably only been in the last 4 years that I've really understood that I've really got that. I remember even thinking that John Smoltz, when he would say, man, we gave you 14 years where you always had a shot. And I was like, no, that's not enough. You should have won more World Series. I was
sure,
mad
you
about
want another?
Yeah, I was mad about it. But in the last 4 years, maybe it's because we focus on things that have consequence to it. And sports, as much as I love it, as much as you love it, as much as you listening love it, you all of a sudden have just a different perspective. You're like, maybe it doesn't matter as much as I thought. And maybe John Smoltz was right.
I think that was the importance of going, for me, to Kelvin King's launch party, to talk with a lot of Americans where it was all different perspectives, it was all different ages. It wasn't like that room you go, oh, there's the uniformity of the room. It's no, everybody was in there was different. But everyone was unified knowing that this stuff really matters. The people that represent you really matters.
Yeah.
And so I know you get really worked up about that 5-star left tackle, and hopefully he's on campus next year and he's guarding my quarterback.
Yeah.
All right, I need 5-star politicians, 5-star representatives.
5-star.
I want the real right people.
5-star individuals.
Yes.
People that have 5-star values.
Yes.
That's exactly right.
Because one really is going to have effect on me.
Yeah. 4 years ago, Georgia losing to Alabama this year, I'd been spitting nails and cussing, and I wasn't.
You just kind of went about your business, huh?
Well, damn.
Happened again.
They got us again. That's exactly. And you know what? If Georgia beats Auburn, I'll be like, that's great.
Got him.
And if Georgia loses to Auburn, I'll be like, well, damn.
Listen, I enjoyed that Tennessee game.
Me too.
Watching
it was great.
Watching Alabama or watching Georgia play that crazy game, leading it. Again, now 2 weeks later, you play Alabama and you're on the other end of it. That's the season. The season's the ride. Right now, if you're a Georgia Tech fan, shout out to all the people over at True Prep. They're enjoying the 5-0. They're going to get to 6-0, hopefully.
No, they will.
14.5 point,
Virginia Tech.
And a possibility of being a top 12, top 10 team. They have a legitimate chance at making the playoffs.
Yeah, they're a really good team.
This is the ride.
Yeah, it is, man. Enjoy it. It is going to be fun. And as a guy that is very close to a family that is very close to the Georgia Tech program, a son, almost like a second son to me, who's a quarterback down there, man, I hope they do great. I'll be pulling for the Dogs at the end of the season. But otherwise, I hope Georgia Tech has a wonderful run, man. I hope their fans. That's the beauty of college football. It's great. And it's just different. And maybe it's the maturation process, or maybe you just realize that there's things that are bigger and the things that are more important than what a 20-year-old does.
Well, you've had it. But you know who hasn't had it? It's that guy who's chasing the Nobel Peace Prize.
Well, and it's funny because Mike Lee.
New Hitler.
Yeah, I know, right. The crazy thing is about New Hitler, he's getting support from Jews and Palestinians, Israelis and Palestinians. Mike Lee, 13 hours ago, hell has frozen over, and he quote tweets the Washington Post. Listen to this headline. Yes, Trump deserves the Nobel Peace Prize. Wow. If you would have asked me if that header, Washington Post, and that headline would ever be on the same page, I would have said, no, Los, you're crazy.
When you run with he's Hitler, he's fascist. Well, first off, those are two different things, okay? Like, the fascists were aligned with the Nazis, but those are two different things, by the way. The key aspect here is, if you're so Hitler, you actually lined out a peace deal in the interest of the Jews, huh?
Seems an odd thing for him to do.
You realize so strange? If you're so racist, you actually made it a point to line out a peace deal that the Palestinians, who aren't cared for by most everybody else in the region, you actually were the one who said, we're going to get you some peace and security here.
His Gaza agreement, though still fragile, adds to an unprecedented peacemaking record. And they call out the wars that he's stopped. They call out this peace agreement. And they even go into the possibility of peace between Russia and Ukraine, one that Donald Trump has said, this is something that is my life's mission. It's crazy that a dictator, someone that they call Hitler, would have any interest in doing any of those things.
I thought this was all about, himself.
His own power, his own gratification and glorification.
Making sure that the family makes so much money. I thought this was what it was. I thought this was, as Rosie O'Donnell continues to lie to us, I thought this was about staying out of the Epstein files. All right. The guy has been showing you since he got back in office that it's as many deals for peace around the world, and why. Just as we pointed out, it's good for stability of our country, and it's good for the economics of the world. Peace creates markets.
And it is kind of funny for Trump. He reminded me a little bit, Los, of a college football coach, since we started the segment with that. Remember a few years ago when where you were ranked mattered? You'd have coaches going on ESPN, and they would pitch almost for their...
They would politic and vouch for themselves.
Yeah, right.
Absolutely, 100%.
Donald Trump kind of did that with the Nobel Peace Prize.
Kind of did.
I want you to hear it. Listen to this.
So I know one thing. I don't know what they're going to do, really, but I know this, that nobody in history has solved 8 wars in a period of 9 months. And I've stopped 8 wars. So that's never happened before. But they'll have to do what they do. Whatever they do is fine. I know this. I didn't do it for that. I did it because I saved a lot of lives. And that's the thing that bothers me so much about the Russia-Ukraine. 7,000 people are dying a week. Young soldiers. They're almost all soldiers of Ukraine and Russia. So in theory, it doesn't affect us, no, but it's a terrible thing.
My man was rapping off. I don't know about you, but I've solved 8 wars. I don't know if the Venezuelan opposition leader, Maria Corina, I believe, Machado, who actually won the Nobel Peace Prize. I don't know if she's done that. Something tells me the answer is no, but that's who the award went to instead of, Donald Trump. It doesn't matter. Like he said, I'm not doing it for this. But I love the fact that he wasn't afraid to say, hey, y'all, if you're paying attention, I'm actually making a difference in the world. I'm not sure if any of these other people are.
I have this inclination to hope that he doesn't get it, in part because you want to downplay and show just how phony it was. If the whole situation where Barack Obama got elected and got it, he hadn't really been in office. They're like, he gets the Nobel Peace Prize. Why? Because he ran a campaign?
Mm-hmm. Well, it just shows you how irrelevant it really is.
Meanwhile, no one dropped more bombs in peacetime.
Or droned his own citizens.
Droned his own citizens more than Barack Obama, the peacemaker.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
It just tells you that it's pointless and useless and who cares.
But if he did, and strangely because of what he's done in office in the first 10 months, it would validate it. That's you have to be pretty good at what you've been doing to take an award that's been around and the premise by which it came about to change a legacy, because that was the deal with Alfred Nobel. He wanted to change the family legacy from one of death and destruction.
From dynamite.
To, I want my name to be synonymous with doing good in the world.
Which, if you listen to the show a lot, Front Office Los did a story time explaining all of this. Probably a story that you didn't know, and I didn't either. But an incredible story nonetheless. And for Donald Trump, it would be interesting for someone that they call Hitler and fascist and Nazi to get an award
to show,
that he's not any of those things.
In the end, it really just comes down to that is the only thing that you have coming out of the left right now, based on their power, is rhetoric. And yeah, it's violent and it's ugly and it's gross, and they're not going to stop. But if you do have Donald Trump win the Nobel Peace Prize, man, I hope he puts it on a championship belt.
Wears it like Flavor Flav around his neck like a clock.
I hope he's like, hey, who's the peace president? You warmongers?
Yeah, that's right.
Where are all the doves over there on the left?
Yeah, they don't exist.
What happened to these people?
This is the same people that are saying hideous and heinous things. Heinous.
Heinous?
Yeah, heinous.
Oh, okay.
Heinous. Did I miss? I may have missed.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I think I've just misheard you.
Yeah, probably so. These horrible things about Winsome Sears, the lovable left. They do all these things to tell you how much they care.
They're so giving.
Aren't they? And then you see them, and you see the words that they say. All you need to do is a quick Google search, or if you're on X, formerly known as Twitter, go to Libs of TikTok, and they've shared the emails that Winsome Sears got after that debate for the Virginia governor's race last night, and you won't be able to believe what you see about the loving left. It is everything but. 8 o'clock hour is brought to you by Central Heating and Air Conditioning. Your Atlanta carrier expert, 770-GET-HEAT, centralheat.com. The Dems, they're learning a hard lesson. There will be no blue wave to save them. Next on the Morning Extra on Extra 106.3.
Extra 106.3 is connected to the Atlanta community with the local officials and candidates that share your values, plus the national perspective from the most trusted name in news like Glenn Beck, Clay Travis, Buck Sexton, and Atlanta's own Neil Boortz. Proud to be the conservative voice of Atlanta. Extra 106.3 FM and the Extra app.
Good morning, it's Los. Now, we always talk about companies that share your values. Well, let me tell you about True Prep and what they're going to do for you this weekend. First off, let's get through just the basics. 1000 Cobb Parkway in Marietta, or go to trueprep.com. That's truprep.com. Now, what is True Prep all about? Hey, if you stay ready, you don't have to get ready. And whatever your ready is, that is what True Prep is able to help you out with. First off, their fall sale that's going on. You have up to 66% off a number of their items that are in the store. So stop on by. Check them out online, trueprep.com. You can see their sales and clearance items and see what's available. And if you decide, hey, I'm going to go over to True Prep and grab some stuff to be ready for whatever the situation that happens, they can help you out with that with a very friendly staff. And one of the biggest things we're now seeing, and that True Prep has been an advocate for, is when you do decide that you want to be more prepared for a situation, they'll help you get ready. For instance, for those of you, you might be a first-time gun buyer. You might be a very experienced person, and you're bringing somebody from the family who's looking to learn how to use a firearm and own their first one. Well, this upcoming Sunday, they have their firearm fundamentals for first-time buyers. That is the class that they ran during the summer. They've brought it back for the fall. It's been that popular. Here's the cool part. It's going down on Saturday, 12 to 3. It's free. Okay, so for those of you where maybe you have a young woman in your life, maybe you have an older woman in your life, maybe you have somebody who's now living alone and they want that extra set of protection, they want to know how to use a firearm. First-time fundamentals for first-time gun buyers. That is going to be available at True Prep, noon to 3 on Sunday. And again, the class is free. Go to trueprep.com. That's truprep.com. Prepare today for a worry-free tomorrow with True Prep.
Big moments deserve big-time craftsmanship. At Solomon Brothers Jewelers, we've been family-owned and operated since 1982 because we know what it means to show up when it counts. Jaron Solomon here, and that's why we're proud to be an official Tacori jeweler. Each Tacori ring is handcrafted in California, going through 20 elite artisans before it hits your hands. Not mass-produced, not generic, always personal. And with Solomon Brothers, you get lifetime cleanings, unbeatable financing, and the largest Tacori selection in Georgia. Stop by a store in Buckhead, Alpharetta, or Sharpsburg. Visit SolomonBrothers.com to book your private appointment. Solomon Brothers Jewelers, where love is in the details and legends are built to last. Solomon Brothers Jewelers, proud partner of the Georgia Bulldogs and official jeweler of the Georgia Tech Yellow Jackets.
A company that has been trusted in Atlanta for over 25 years has already done their hometown homework, like having the very best people, fair, honest pricing, exceptional customer service, and a focus on high-quality work. That's us. Hi, I'm Dan Watkins, owner of All Four Seasons Garage, Entry Doors, and Windows. Sometimes new isn't better, like out-of-town home improvement companies invading Atlanta with their inflated pricing and subpar work. When trust matters, trust us. All the number 4 Seasons Garage.
The hot summer's winding down and the wet fall is approaching. It's time to get your Mercedes-Benz running in tip-top shape. Meet the RBM of Atlanta Mercedes-Benz pickup and delivery service. It gives you back time and money. Does your Mercedes-Benz need service? If so, we'll pick up your vehicle that's requiring service from your home or office and bring it back to our dealership for those services. And once the services have been complete, we'll bring your Mercedes-Benz back to you. With over 100 appointments available every weekday, over 50 appointments on Saturdays, and more than 200 courtesy vehicles in our fleet, we're here to serve. We'll work around your schedule. We're here to save you time, energy, and money. RBM of Atlanta is a J.D. Power 2025 Diamond Dealer of Excellence for the customer sales experience. And we're proud to be Atlanta's Mercedes-Benz connection since 1964. Pickup and delivery service restrictions do apply. Ask your service coordinator or service advisor at RBM of Atlanta for details.
October is Breast Cancer Awareness Month, and for us at Stovall, this is a cause that hits close to home. My mother, mother-in-law, and now my wife have all battled breast cancer. Over the past 9 years, Stovall & Company has raised over $400,000 for the National Breast Cancer Foundation through our annual Pinktober fundraiser. During the month of October, 100% of the proceeds of our Pinktober plants, as well as 10% of all Rainbird irrigation sales, will be donated to the National Breast Cancer Foundation. Stop by any of our 11 locations or visit our website at StovallInc.com.
The stories that matter to you. These are your Georgia headlines.
Here are your Georgia headlines for Friday, October 10th. Police say a man was arrested after making a fake bomb threat at a bar in Marietta Square. Investigators claim 29-year-old James Lusk placed the threat after being ejected from the establishment. He's now facing charges related to the hoax. Police are also investigating a second bomb threat made at another Marietta business later that week. Hartsfield-Jackson is expecting heavy traffic this weekend as Metro Atlanta families head out for fall break for Fulton and Coweta County schools. Thursday saw over 100,000 passengers departing, and airport officials are projecting to see about 115,000 passengers today. The airport is urging travelers to arrive at least 3 hours before their flight to allow enough time for security checks. And the Braves have launched a new initiative called Hank Aaron Diamonds to fund major upgrades to baseball and softball fields in Atlanta public schools. The plan includes installing turf fields at all Atlanta public high schools. The project is expected to begin this month and is funded by the Braves Foundation, along with support from multiple corporate partners. Today's weather, clear, cool, and sunny with a high of 71. With your headlines, I'm Jerry Payne for Extra 106.3.
8 o'clock hour brought to you by Central Heating and Air Conditioning, your Atlanta carrier experts, 770-GET-HEAT, centralheat.com. Right now, you can get $2,100 off a new carrier system and 60 months, 0% financing with approved credit. Couple different benefits for you if you're in the market for a new HVAC system. Tug and Los until 10 here on Extra 106.3. The Democrats, I keep hearing them say that there is going to be a blue wave. There is going to be a big change in these midterms. And I don't know what's giving them that hope. 18% approval is not really something when I look at it that's going, yeah, man, definitely. You're definitely right. Boy, we need to be worried. But I will say, Dr. Rich McCormick, when we had him on earlier this week, he even said, hey, man, there's going to be some changes. You're going to see some different shifting momentum in the way people vote. And we've talked about it, Los, just how fickle people can be, especially younger folks. They're not tied to a party necessarily. They can look at something and go, okay, this we gave you a shot. You didn't do what you're supposed to do. We're going to go vote a different way. But there is a Democrat writer by the name of Ian Schwartz. He says there's no signs of a blue wave in 2026 because Democrats are less popular now than they've ever been. And that almost assures the fact that Democrats are not going to have a blue wave. What is it that Democrats are going to be so encouraged by to get them to show up at the polls? And I don't know the answer.
Cheating.
Yeah, that'd be the only way.
I'll get into that in a bit, but and I think this is sometimes it's downplayed. Gen Z is looking for economic security, but one of the aspects of Gen Z is that they've grown up in a world that's very small because everything's been accessible. They're a digital age group of people. Like, if I want to go to Nepal, I look at that as like an impossibility. Mm-hmm. They look at it as like, let me get a headset. It's just kind of how they work. And one of the things that they respond to is peace around the world. If this deal with Israel and Hamas remains and you have a region that gets solidified, they take that as that's what they voted for. They are very worldly in that regard. Now, are they going to be thinking about climate change and other aspects like that? Yeah, they will, but
less and less.
But less and less. And the more stability that gets created in their world that they look at as chaos, the more that they'll vote that particular direction.
I don't have it in front of me now, and I'll search for it. Just funny you bring that up because there was an article, I want to say I saw it at Real Clear Politics. This is a place that I frequent. Real Clear Politics puts together kind of an aggregate just from 1,000 different points of view. Ones that you'll read and be like, yeah, that's right. And ones that you'll go, wait a minute, man, I need to read this because I don't think that's right at all. But basically, one of the articles that they had posted said climate change is circling the drain with younger voters. And I think it's because they see the politics behind it. They're like, wait a minute, you've been telling me, like our conversation in the last hour, you've been telling me New York's going to be underwater, that South Georgia was going to be the new beach because Florida's going to be underwater and New Orleans is going to be underwater. I think they really respond to, I want to leave it better than I found it. Kind of the environmentalism versus conservation. They want to be conservationists. They want to do things the right way and leave it better than they found it. But they've seen through the fakeness and the politics of the environmentalist movement.
Well, I think that you have to be extremely egotistical. And I'll say this, that's one of the aspects that we're seeing in Gen Z. It is not an egotistical group. This is not baby boomers, okay, where the whole world revolves around me. That's just how, this is a different group. As much as you might say, oh, they don't want to work hard. I don't know who these people are. If there's something about them, they're by and large, as a group, they're not egotistical. And part of climate change depends on you being egotistical. That climate change is real. It's all the time. It's happened for millions of years on this planet. What's our influence on it? Probably pretty minimal. But you have to be egotistical in nature to believe that what you're doing personally or as a species is somehow changing this.
We're bigger than
8 billion year old ball that's flying around out in space at 200,000 miles an hour.
And this article, I just found it, and it's from, I've talked about reading this guy's stuff for a while, The Liberal Patriot. It doesn't seem like those two things would go together, especially in current Democrat politics. But he's kind of an outlier. And he said the climate movement is circling the drain. And he said that's actually great for Democrats because hopefully, in his words, hopefully it falls away and people aren't so focused on this political movement that isn't even real.
Well, think about what they've hung their hat on. Climate change, transgenderism, abortion. There are these topics that are not winning topics. And yet you make sure that your orthodoxy is built on this stuff. Your religion is built on these things. And if you were to ever get rid of the whole climate issue, first off, you're giving away a whole lot of power. I mean, these are the people that invented the idea of carbon credits. Okay, these are the people that convinced us that there was an ozone layer that had a giant hole in it.
I mean, that's the foundation of their beliefs.
I mean, this was part. It was part of securing power. And if you know the history, and I've talked about it one other time before, one of the issues, if you remember, like during the 80s and into the 90s, like one of the big activist organizations was Greenpeace. Greenpeace was actually infiltrated when the Soviet Union fell apart. The way to obtain power, once again, was let's move into the climate movement. Greenpeace basically became a far left organization that strictly was looking to secure power and money using climate change, green initiatives.
And now one of the co-founders has come out and said that.
And said exactly what occurred.
Hijacked.
Yeah, that their entire movement was hijacked by these people. And in the same way, in a very funny way, that, you know, BLM turned into what it turned into.
Marxist organization.
Like, hey, we got a decent idea. This is what we're going to do. And then the Marxists took it over. You know, it's like buying a successful business. I know you built it. I'm going to buy it and I'm going to take it the direction I'm going.
I'm going to make some changes.
I'm going to make some changes around here.
Which usually don't work out all that well. And
But yeah, I hope that they eventually get past the whole deal of man-made, highly influenced climate change. Climate change is real. Man-made.
That's right.
Fully dictating what is going on in the climate. That part I will tell you, the science and the information over millions of years does not support it.
The climate has always changed. You have no control over it.
Look up the geologic time scale.
Such a minute.
Look at what has gone on. You can go back 60 million years and you'll go, oh, wow.
Don't listen to John Kerry. Don't listen to Al Gore. Don't listen to Bernie Sanders. Don't listen to those Greta Thunberg. Listen to any of those clowns. Leave it better than you found it. That's how you change. That's how you do good in your community.
I have likened the argument of climate change to this. If you were to stand next to Jerry, all right, and you stood next to him for 5 seconds, and you watched him blink 3 times, and then you were asked to tell me about Jerry's life.
His entire life.
Yeah. You'd be like, that's not enough data.
Yeah, I got nothing. Seems like a nice guy.
All right, so you're building this, what is going on, what is happening off of 30, 50 to 100 years on a planet that's probably 8 billion years old.
Yeah, that blink, that tiniest bit of data, you're not going to be. But I do find this interesting, though, that even Democrats are going, hey, the midterms are not going to go your way. It's just not. The numbers aren't there. The people registering to vote isn't there. He has so many data points about why the Democrats are not going to have a good midterm.
Well, have you noticed what the cheating that's going to happen in California?
See, that's the next thing. Because the only way they're going to be able to do anything, to move any needle, is to cheat. And it comes to redistricting part of it.
So redistricting is finding its way onto the ballot. Now, this is where you talk about, I don't believe in a blue wave. But I do believe we're going to see, because we've now seen what happens when they're out of power. They're willing to shoot at us. They're willing to say the most vile and horrible things. There is no limit to where they will go. And it was the same thing in 2020. Drop boxes, Zuckerbucks, all the things that they did. Riots in the streets that they bought and paid for. So there's no surprise here. So if you go into California and you look up their laws, we had the initial fire safe, which was going to be that if you wanted to redistrict, if you wanted to have it, it was going to have to go through a committee. And that committee, and I was going through, how it was basically broken up. It's a commission. It's a committee that has 14 members, 5 from each of the state's 2 largest political parties, and 4 that are unaffiliated. All right? Now, they're the ones that have to approve the 4 redistricted maps. What has gone on is Gavin Newsom has signed into law that there will be a ballot measure where we'll let majority rule decide whether or not redistricting happens based on these maps. So you're taking their old laws of, hey, a 14-person committee determines this. Gavin Newsom lined it out to where, no, it'll be a simple majority that gets to ignore this committee.
Here's the way I think we can win.
And here's the problem. Because California is a mail-in ballot state, if you saw the picture that was out there, what they have is when you resubmit your ballot, there is actually a little window where you can tell if the ballot was marked for yes or no as far as redistricting. So that they can very easily throw away the ballots that say no.
Huge surprise. You're telling me that Democrats would go to any length to maintain power or grow their power base, especially in places like California? Color me shocked.
There it is. We're on that ballot where you mark it. They'll be able to tell which way you voted.
And then that way.
And sending it back to you.
Whether it gets counted or not.
And that will determine whether or not they're going to be able to.
I mean, it's almost like a little hole punch.
It is.
I mean, you know what I mean? That's how simple.
Oh, that's definitely a no ballot. Let's get rid of that one.
Yeah, that looks like a loss to us. Put that one over the box.
It's got to go.
Yeah, that one.
So I fully believe. Now, this is...
Dude, that is something else. That is something else. I've never, ever seen anything like that before. That takes thought. Like, you have to come up with, how are we going to scam the system? I've got an idea. Let's put a little dot in the and a little hole punch so we can see how they voted and know whether the ballot needs to be counted or not.
And the amount of people that have been posting, like, here's one. San Francisco's ballot also shows the no indicated in the hole to the outside. They will throw the no votes away. Those will disappear. So this is the level of cheating that you're going to get.
You think they will ever stop cheating? No,
of
they
course
won't.
not.
Of course they won't. So be prepared for it. You have to show up en masse. You have to overcome this. And then if they don't win, then they'll get violent. We're not going to do that. We refuse to do it. We're not going to fall for the trap. We're going to win and win the right way.
As we're so concerned with our own situation when it comes to how we count our ballots, how our systems work in the state of Georgia, imagine if you are in California and as you're seeing these mail-in ballots come back with what they have as far as the visual aid to be able to tell if it's a yes or a no vote, and knowing if I mark no, these people are just going to throw this thing away.
Yeah. That is...
Because the chain of custody at that point, I mean, was my vote counted? Well, we just never got it.
Yeah. What do you want us to do? We can't help it. There's nothing we can do about that.
I don't know. Take it up at the post office.
Dude.
It's as filthy as it gets, but that's how they'll get this thing pushed through. It'll be with cheating.
Yeah, it's going to happen. They will cheat. They always have. They always will. And dude, I guess hats off to them for being so innovative in the way they cheat.
It's pretty filthy.
Dude, I mean, the effort that they've gone to is extraordinary.
A majority of mail-in ballots, and yet the ballots will reveal to whoever collects them how you voted without even opening them.
Dude, can you see the people in the precincts when they get the ballots come in? They're like, okay, yep, garbage. Oh, that one's good. Yep, keep this one. Nope, garbage. Just watching it come down has to be like nothing you've ever seen before. It's extraordinary, the abilities that they have, and realize they're going to cheat, and it will happen here in Georgia too. They will use every method that they possibly can to cheat you and cheat the state, cheat the country. So just keep your eyes open all the time. The only Democrat that has the courage to tell the whole truth about Donald Trump. We'll talk about who that is and what he has said next on the Morning Extra 8 o'clock hours, brought to you by Central Heating and Air Conditioning.
The latest sports news, powered by 680 The Fan, and driven to extra listeners by RBM of Atlanta in Sandy Springs, Atlanta's Mercedes-Benz connection since 1964.
Good morning. Here are your sports headlines for Friday, October 10th. From the Major League Baseball playoffs, a pair of Game 4s last night. The Dodgers, they're now moving on after walking off against the Philadelphia Phillies last night 2-1. The Cubs, they force a Game 5 after beating the Brewers 6-0. Tonight from Seattle, a do-or-die Game 5 as well as the Mariners host the Tigers. That'll be an 8:08 first pitch. From college football, 13th ranked Georgia Tech hosts Virginia Tech. That's going to be a 3:30 kickoff on Saturday. You can hear that game on our sister station, 680 The Fan, and the 680 The Fan app. On Extra Saturday afternoon, the Red River rivalry from Dallas features 6th ranked Oklahoma and Texas. That'll be a 3:30 kickoff. You can hear it right here. Later that night, 10th ranked Georgia will be on the road taking on Auburn. That's a 7:30 kickoff. With your sports headlines, I'm Carlos Medina.
This is Window Nation, your source for affordable replacement windows at the highest quality. So if you've got old, drafty, sticking, or leaking windows, you need the experienced pros at Window Nation. You can pay a lot less and still get the premium windows you're dreaming of. Their custom windows are guaranteed to be a perfect fit, and they're backed by the best warranty in the industry. Go to getwindownation.com or call 866-90NATION for your free estimate. And for a limited time, buy 2 windows, get 2 windows free, plus no payments for 2 years.
Attention Extra listeners. The end of the year is closing in. Are your retirement plans ready? We at Master Plan Retirement Consultants are holistic retirement planners, including income and growth planning, tax strategies, and estate and legacy planning. Each piece of the retirement puzzle must fit together cohesively because we know a change in one area can inevitably affect the others. Our boutique team serves you with fiduciary care, ensuring every step moves you closer to a confident, sustainable retirement. Don't wait. There's still time to adjust your plan before year end. Schedule your complimentary consultation now at masterplanretire.com. Master Plan Retirement Consultants. Plan well and prosper.
Advisory services offered through Master Plan Retirement Consultants, Inc., a registered investment advisory in the state of Georgia. Insurance, tax, and commodity services offered through Fricks & Associates, Inc., DBA Master Plan Retirement Consultants. The aforementioned are affiliated companies.
Hey, this is John Flading. I'm the president and owner of ATL Turf Co. We are family-owned, operated, independent local company. We have over 15 years of artificial grass design, installation, and sales experience. From premium artificial lawns and backyards, custom putting greens, sports fields, hardscape, drainage, we do both residential and commercial. If you can dream it, we can build it. Just go to atlturfco.com to schedule an appointment.
This is House Call for Health. 2 weight loss drugs so popular it's led to cost and availability concerns are about to be cheaper for some users. Costco members will be able to purchase Ozempic and Wegovy for half price. The price break stems from a new partnership between the retailer and the pharmaceutical giant Novo Nordisk, which manufactures the 2 drugs. Members can get a 4-week supply of the injectable pens through the Costco prescription program. The medications will cost $499 for Costco members who pay out of pocket, and a prescription is still required. Many insurance companies do not cover the medications. In a statement to Fox Business, Dave Moore, Executive Vice President of U.S. Operations for Novo Nordisk, says everyone deserves care that's simple, reliable, and within reach, and we're proud to lead the way in helping make that a reality. He added the collaboration makes it easier to access and afford the prescriptions right where people shop. For more health news, go to foxnewshealth.com. House Call for Health, I'm Lisa Brady, Fox News.
Fox on Tech. Tesla may make a safe car, but not necessarily a safe driver. Many Tesla owners are subscribing to full self-driving and like to post videos of a steering wheel moving on its own. But the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration is now investigating why Tesla's self-driving tech is making vehicles run red lights. Among other things, that would certainly get a human driver at least a ticket. So far, they've had more than 50 incident reports of autonomous cars using Tesla's full self-driving software, not just running red lights, but crossing into wrong lanes. Sometimes the car did stop at the red light and never moved again once the light went green. The investigation comes as Tesla releases a major update to its full self-driving software. The same software was the focus of an investigation last year following complaints it caused cars to crash during low-visibility road conditions. With Fox on Tech, I'm Eben Brown, Fox News.
From the latest breaking news to the conservative voices you know and trust, your best new follow on social media is Extra 1063. We're at XTRA 1063 on Twitter, Facebook, TikTok, Threads, and LinkedIn, and pretty much any social media you scroll through every day. And we drop exclusive giveaways, new daily content, and the latest breaking news from Georgia and across this great nation. Interact with your favorite Extra personalities. Get the latest on our live events and so much more. Follow at Extra 1063 across all your social media and keep up with Atlanta's only conservative voice.
This is going to sound crazy because dragging something into the trash can on your laptop seems like it would be the easiest thing in the world, right? You just drag it down and put it in the trash can, it goes away. I've been sitting here for the last 8 minutes trying to drag something off my desktop into the trash can, and I can't figure out how to do this.
Give it to Los. He'll take it over behind good old days.
That's right.
Well,
I'll get rid of it over there.
No, this is just a digital picture that I need to put into the trash can from the desktop. No, it's not a physical.
I'll take it there too.
Right. But problem is, I can't figure out how to get it to you or to the trash. I feel like the dumbest ass in the world this morning not being able to drag something off the desktop into the trash can.
Is it wrong what you've seen me enjoying during the break?
Only slightly.
AI is...
Some people won't appreciate it as much as you and I do.
So AI, we had earlier this week, people were putting, in this case, it was Stephen Hawking in the most incredibly crazy wrestling and boxing situations. I was like, all right, that's fine. It didn't do much for me.
Well, and he was on like a skate ramp too at one of them.
Yes, on one of them, and he fell really hard.
Yeah.
The one that's really cracking me up now is the obese Olympics.
I've seen these.
The pole vaulters.
The pole vaulters.
Really good.
But man, for some reason, why is that so funny? Now everybody like lands and bounces right back up. Like, throws their hands up.
Even if they miss the the pallet or whatever that thing is that
whatever
they land
the landing zone is.
I don't know what that is. That little
500-pounder just defying the laws of gravity.
Yeah, dude.
Spinning up the pole.
Or the ones where they just don't get up at all. They just plop over.
Have you seen the ski jumpers?
No, I've missed that.
Oh man.
That's next?
Well, yeah, that's right here.
Oh my. That is a large fellow there.
So I don't know why.
It's terrible and hysterical at the same time. Can it be both? Can it be awful and funny and awful funny?
If this is the extent of AI, at least for now,
dude,
that
it's entertaining.
It cracks you up and makes you laugh during the day.
Yeah.
All right.
It's worth it. It's worth it. It takes you away from all the... Uh-oh. Oh, that fella has, he's missed altogether. It's not turning out well for him in this AI video.
Oh, it's incredible what can be done now.
Dude, it's unreal. It really is. Tug and Los until 10. Do you say if you have a sense of humor?
I don't know how I can function now.
Yeah, well, if you have a sense of humor, a really good sense of humor, and things don't upset you, then maybe just do a Google search.
I'm going to send it to my wife.
Large man. Pole vaulting, and what is that? What is that one called?
This is, by the way, it's at My Lord Bebo, B-E-B-O, is where you can find these.
Right. I forget what that
from
event.
Dr. Clown PhD is the one who originally put these together. At least that one with the large.
What is that long ski jump thing called? What is that event?
The ski jump.
Is it just the ski jump? Is that simple? Oh, okay. Well, then there you go. Large man, do just a quick search on X on Twitter.
Or if you want to look up the Women's Olympics.
Yeah, that's the other one I saw.
That one's funny too. If you have a sense of humor,
and if you don't even look it up. Just avoid.
Beer delivery.
Yes, that's right.
I mean, I sent it to
vacuum relays,
baseboard cleaning.
I sent it to my friends. It's like, which one of us has the gold medalist in our home?
That's right. It's so awful.
I can say this because I do a lot of the cleaning in our house. Yeah. I'm that person that I enjoy when the house is clean, it's taken care of, and so I'm the tidy one.
I'm not messy per se, but my wife is usually the one that takes care of all that. She thinks it's it's the most important for her to have the house very tidy, and I appreciate it. It's great. So I try to be as tidy as I can as well, because of all the things that are happening and need to be done. And I respect the fact that she's so vigilant about it, and she wants to make sure that the house is spotless. And I love that. It's great. So I make sure that I clean up after myself. I don't leave things on the floor. I don't leave cups on end table, on none of that stuff. No, I'm good about it.
That's why my wife is going to, she always takes care of the kitchen, and the kitchen we try to make it look immaculate and everything else. But that is the reason why I try and make sure everything else in the house is in working order.
Yeah.
So that she never does where are you going to go meet Tug out at some bar?
Again.
The washing machine's not working.
Well, baby girl,
I was like, I took care of that.
That thing's fixed for you, baby girl.
In fact, she gave me a list. She's like, hey, I need some tent stakes for some of the stuff that we're putting up in the yard.
And I saw you searching for that earlier.
And I'm going to go buy some tent stakes, and I'm going to do what I'm going to do, take care of the washer, and by that time, then I should have, without a problem, earned the free pass to see Mr. Tugglesworth.
I don't know why you would ever have an issue with that. I mean, I'm as innocent as as could possibly be. I'm never going to get you in trouble.
Look what you did to Mr. Tugglesworth.
That's right. Yeah. So I appreciate that your sweet wife has given you the pass to hang out with.
Well, I'm expecting it.
Here.
I've got to deliver. I can't just.
No, I know. And
like if I come home without 10 steaks, or if I don't take care of what needs to happen, then she has the right to say, "Hey, I need you to kind of
pick it up,
get yourself going here.
Pick it up, pal."
Right.
Contribute. Be a contributor. Don't be someone takes away. Be a person that contributes.
You know, she always has the main deflector shield.
Which
I can always walk in the door, be like, "Yeah, well, I just finished up my work day," and she'll be like, "Well, I got the kids out the door," and
which is huge.
That's a pain in the butt.
Yeah, it's important. And any parent that's done it, kids sometimes are rough in the morning. They don't want to get up.
2 of them in the morning.
Yeah, and at that age, they can be a little feisty.
Right. Like Jerry, never at any point, if I was to say like, "Hey Jerry," and ask him any question, at no point does he ever go like, "What? What do you want? I was going to sleep."
Why are you talking to me? I don't know. I don't want breakfast.
Give me some cereal.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
No, Jerry doesn't act that way. My kids act that way.
And you listening, your kids probably have acted that way before, and I know mine did too.
I hate you.
Yeah, right. Did they ever hit y'all with that? Did they ever hit you with I hate you?
No.
I was going to say, because, mine didn't either, because I don't think, maybe one time.
And then run away to Australia.
Yeah. I think one time he may have said something and I beat him senseless, and he didn't do it again. I think that's the way that went. Tug and Los until 10 on the Morning Extra. If you've
Don't bow up on your daddy. That's a bad move.
No. I remember telling Jacob, I'd say, look, you're stronger than I am at this point. I mean, you are. Even through high school, man, he's working out every day when he was playing football and baseball. And then I was like, you may be stronger than I am, but I'm more savvy. I have more experience. I will shove you down a flight of stairs before you even realize what's happening. So, yes, you might be physically stronger than I am these days, but you don't know what your daddy knows.
He fights dirty.
That's right. I'm telling you, I will take off my boot and smack you in the side of the head with it.
The Morning Extra brought to you by Whoopins.
That's exactly right.
I love that.
Beatings if need be.
This is can right here. It's a new product called Whoopins.
Yes,
I'm going to open it.
And it's going to be all over your face.
You're going to get it.
Side of your head.
You may not want it. You're going to get it.
You're going to get it anyway. I was surprised. You know what? Maybe I shouldn't be surprised. John Fetterman says the right things. He's still voting with the Democrats, and he's still a Democrat, but he's in a very purple state. But Los, you've described him as a bit of a weather vane.
Yeah, you know which way the wind is blowing in terms of what the Democrats should be doing when John Fetterman says what he says. That if John Fetterman happens to jump in and support an initiative that comes from the Trump administration, you probably should do it. It's probably got some victory attached to it. Because remember, just as you said, he's a purple state. He's got to play both ends of this thing. But he's judicious, knowing I'm still going to vote the way I'm going to vote. I'm still going to support who I'm going to support. And I will ensure that I come across as a centrist, even though you don't vote that way. But he's one of the only people that has no problem talking about
Trump
backing of Israel.
Yeah, or Trump with a Nobel Peace Prize.
Trump with a Nobel Peace Prize. He's one of the only people on that side that continues to say, and again, that's different than voting, but he continues to say the things that if you want to have a national platform in this country and reach both sides, you got to talk the game, man. There's not enough people on the left that are talking the game.
And you've said it before, too, which would be really smart, and that is you actually glom on to the things that are popular and pretend it's yours.
Yes.
You'd be successful that way. I mean, it's kind of what Fetterman's doing.
I haven't gotten a chance to read it. I heard it secondhand that when it comes to Kamala Harris's book, she's still claiming that No Tax on Tips was hers.
Yeah. I
was like, we were there. We covered every day.
Yeah. But look, that again, but she's going to convince some people that read that book that that's the case.
But she also saw something that was working, that was resonating.
But she wasn't able to explain it.
No,
unfortunately.
that was the problem.
No tax on tips.
That's right.
But
I did it.
But at least she was like, okay, that's going to hit.
Smart. Or maybe somebody around her did.
Somebody got
probably
her to
wasn't. It probably now that you think about it, probably wasn't her.
I'm telling you, find winning policies that are accepted across the board and run with them. But the problem is that when they start by coming out of Donald Trump's mouth, the initial reaction is no, and now you're in trouble.
Would you say it's safer in Afghanistan or Chicago? if you had to guess. Keep that in mind. Let's talk about that next on Extra 106.3, and then the fact that commies use the values that they do not even agree with. Next on Extra.
Time for the Bortz Report, exclusively on Atlanta's only conservative news and talk station, Extra 106.3.
I know what you're thinking. You're wondering what a national icon such as myself does when he finishes with dinner, usually around 5:30 in the afternoon. TV sucks. There's no Frasier, there's no Seinfeld, so I watch videos, crime videos on A&E, Cops Rewound, Court Cam, love them all. And here are some of the things that I really enjoy. Probably you too. Sovereign Citizens. What a collection of idiots. They get pulled over for having a fake license plate or going too fast. I'm not driving, I'm traveling. Let me see your driver's license. I don't need a driver's license. I'm traveling. I'm not driving. The part I like is when they drag him out of the car and throw him on the ground. People getting thrown off of airplanes. Why is it so often Frontier Airlines? It is so entertaining watching people get thrown off of airlines that some YouTubers have even built fake airline cabins so they can film these little skits on their own and get more views. Shoplifters, they're always fun. Lately, they've been yelling, "You can't touch me, I'm a minor." Or, "I'm 7 months pregnant, leave me alone, don't touch me." Doesn't work. And there's one universal truth out there. When people are being arrested for committing petty crimes, you will almost always hear, "I know my rights." Yeah, like hell you do. Or, "I can't breathe, I can't breathe." That one's almost mandatory. Karens, don't get me started. I like it when they try to stop skateboarders in public spaces, or when they lose their minds because somebody is videoing them. I like the fat one that laid on the ground, shaking like a big tub of goo. "He's filming me! He's filming me!" Filming you? There's no film in that phone, you moron. You can thank me later, but a good way to get entertained every evening is to find some of these programs and watch them and enjoy them. Neil Bortz, Extra 106.3.
This is Atlanta's new home for Fox News, Extra 106.3 FM, WFOM and W292 EV Marietta, a Dickey broadcasting station. The 9 a.m. hour is presented by Southern Exteriors, quality and precision you can rely on.
Politics over peace. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News. As with the White House communications director posted on X, reacting to the Nobel Peace Prize not going to President Trump for brokering a Gaza ceasefire. Instead, it was awarded to Maria Corina Machado, a Venezuelan opposition activist.
A key unifying figure in a political opposition that was once deeply divided. She's been living in hiding for the last year, but has stayed in Venezuela despite threats against her life. Machado wanted to run for president against Nicolas Maduro, but she was disqualified, seen as just one example of widespread government repression.
Fox's Jonathan Savage. As for Gaza, earlier this morning, Israeli troops pulled back to a predetermined line, opening a 72-hour window for Hamas to release all the remaining hostages, 20 of the 48 believed to be alive, as Palestinians move back to Gaza City in a big exodus.
Walking along a main seaside route along the Mediterranean, heading north towards Gaza City, many of them on foot, for a number of different reasons, either too poor to own a car, the fact that their cars could have been destroyed in the war, but also their cars could have been confiscated by Hamas during the war. That happened quite a bit. And finally, a lot of the roads so badly damaged after 2 years of fighting, on foot is the only way to travel.
Fox's Steve Harrigan in Tel Aviv. President Trump will travel to Israel in the coming days. Next hour, he'll go to Walter Reed Medical Center for a health checkup. Hundreds of thousands of federal workers are off the job a 10th straight day, while those deemed essential keep working without pay and will have to through at least Tuesday. That's when the Senate may vote next as a fight over funding continues. House Speaker Mike Johnson blames Democrats and tells Fox,
"You know, I'm a very patient guy, but I have had it with these people. They're playing games with real people's lives."
But the Senate's Minority Leader Chuck Schumer says it's Johnson's fault as Democrats demand health care provisions provisions in the bill?
People will go bankrupt. People will get sick. People will die.
America's listening to Fox News.
I'm Ed Evans, CEO of Consumer Cellular. Ever wonder why the big wireless companies want you on an unlimited plan? It's because they need you to help cover the cost of the 20-somethings who are using a lot of data every month. Fact is, according to the latest research studies, most people 50 and up, like me, only use 12 gigs or less each month. Don't get bamboozled by big wireless. At Consumer Cellular, pick what suits your needs. Whether it's 1 gig, 5, 10, or unlimited, the point is, pay for exactly what you need and nothing more. We use the same towers as the big guys, but since we don't own and maintain them, we can pass the savings on to you. Our plans start at just $20 a month, and you'll get the best customer service in the business. I want to invite you to join the millions of people who choose something better than big wireless, because if you're not using all that data, you're probably getting used.
Call 1-888-FREEDOM or visit consumercellular.com/facts. Plans include $5 credit for auto pay and e-billing. See site for additional facts.
Wake up with the Morning Extra on Extra 106.3 Atlanta.
Tug and Los until 10 on Extra 106.3 Friday, last hour of the show. You can never tell which way it's going to go off the rails quick. And you can hear Los just ranting and raving, but I don't know what he's doing. I don't know what's happened.
Just fit the whole mood, man.
Buddy, if this is one of those songs, I actually sent this to Jere last night, and I was like, I heard it on the way home, and I was like, oh my gosh, I've forgotten how much I love this song. It's perfect for a Friday.
I can't. I'm sorry.
You can't? What do you mean you can't?
Because the 90s Packers played this constant. Like, this was the song they played after every touchdown.
Bang a drum all day.
And so it was over and over and over. And if you played in their stadium, this is what you heard.
Did you go up there?
No.
You just heard it on the...
All the time.
Oh, yeah.
All the time.
Lord, I wish... I'm glad I don't have that.
There's some of those songs that are synonymous with a team.
Yeah, that's
and
right.
This one, that one's with the Green Bay Packers to me.
Babel O'Reilly with the Georgia Bulldogs. They play that before they come out on the field.
Dixieland Delight.
Dixieland Delight with the University of Alabama. I mean, obviously Rocky Top for the University of Tennessee.
Look what happens when I type in Green Bay Packers
Bang.
B. What's the Bang on the drum
all day.
The Green Bay Packers play the song Bang on the Drum All Day by Todd Rundgren after scoring a touchdown at Lambeau Field, a tradition they began over 20 years ago.
I love it, dude. That makes me want to be a Green Bay Packers fan just so I can hear that song. That song gets fired up. You remember back in the day, 96 Rock, they used to play that like at 5 o'clock or something. I think that's what it reminded me of because it was so synonymous with, what did they call it, the weekend whistle or something like that. And they would play that.
So funny, man. I still see people with the upside down license plate.
Oh, right.
Still see it all the time.
No matter which way it goes, it still says 96 Rock. That was so clever back in the day. And now people are selling them. Like Willard, one of the legendary jocks on that station has like a Facebook marketplace site where he sells T-shirts and 96 Rock gear and all that. So cool. I used to love 96 Rock back in the day.
Is it like retro gear? Is it
kind of,
like something he still
because
owns?
the station don't really exist anymore.
So maybe you have the rights to it, or
I don't know how. I don't know the ins and outs.
Some holding company somewhere is
bought it.
Yeah, it's just. But there's not a human checking to see if Willard is out there. I'm gonna
slinging 96 Rock tags and T-shirts. I'd like to have one, man.
There wasn't until now. Now somebody's on it.
Somebody's at it.
You brought it up.
Probably, sold the man out.
Somewhere at iHeart.
Unintentionally.
Going like,
Because it's, at one point, you bring that up, at one point I felt like they did make a streaming channel, it was the old 96 Rock voice guy, and you could stream it online. It wasn't, it wasn't over the air, but you could stream it, and it was a little nostalgic there for a minute. I don't know if that still exists, but
maybe it's because I've gotten older and I've seen the results. I don't think there's anything as sad as when there's a radio show that has like success at one point, then they all go away, and then they all come back together like 20 some years later, and you're like,
you don't like that?
No, it feels weird. It's different when it's like a band.
Okay. I
don't know. I just think that people are so different at that point.
Very true.
It's not like you're playing your same hits from 30 years ago.
Well, 99X is kind of that way, right? They brought that back after it's been gone for, what was it gone, like maybe 10 years? I don't know. Whatever it is. And, they have kind of the the same players, the morning show.
Does that feel weird? Because it kind of feels weird to me.
Well, we're on during their time, so I don't know. I never hear it. I don't know.
I'm going to have to ask around.
But I do, because once in a while I'll flip over at noon. I'll be listening to Clay and Buck, and I'll flip over and Steve Craig will be doing the retro songs from the 80s and alternative songs, and I'll dig it a little bit.
Like if ESPN was suddenly to say, we're going to bring back Mike and Mike in the morning. I'd be like, okay, that feels really strange that they did that.
It's a fair point.
Or if you had Mike and the Bad Dog on the Fan in New York, it'd be like, that's strange. Those guys don't like each other really anymore.
They don't get along with one another. So I on occasion I could see it working a little bit, but you're right. Things are very different than they used to be. So it's hard to reclaim that glory, I guess is what I'm saying.
I think if we ever had a special ESPN Sports Center for like a year and it was Dan Patrick and Keith Olbermann,
and they were doing highlights,
you'd be like, this is strange.
Yeah.
Y'all need to stop.
Yeah, right. Although, man, I know ESPN doesn't do highlights really anymore. The top 10 plays of the day? That's about all they do with highlights. I still love seeing highlights. I still on social media.
Something stopped me out here in front of one of our TVs last night. It was a hockey goal from last night where he flipped it from the half ice. Almost said half something else. Half ice, and it just bounced right past the goalie.
Yeah. So I love highlights.
But I watch them all on my phone.
But that's the point, right? Yeah. It still has that real appeal, but I don't know that you need a whole show for it.
I didn't watch the highlight or low light of the Arizona Cardinals running back dropping the ball at the goal line. I didn't see it on any TV. I saw it on social media.
Probably instantaneously.
Yeah.
Like moments after it happened.
Do they still have web gyms? Do they still do that at all?
I couldn't.
I don't know. I don't watch any. I watch their live baseball programming.
That's it. That's all I watch.
The worldwide
football,
basketball. Yeah,
that's it. I have no interest in anything else they do. But anyway, that song though, Todd Rundgren, it does. It gets me fired up. Now I understand.
No.
It's just like, I hate your guts.
You know what this sounds like to me?
Packers win?
This is the cousin to the horrible song that you would have at Six Flags in their ads when they would have the fake old guy.
Oh, yeah.
This is the kissing cousin.
Yeah, of that. Yeah, it's kind of like the old uncle or something.
Yeah.
Because it's probably 30 years older or something like that. Yeah, I get sucked in to songs like that. I don't know why, but I do. Because I don't actually hate the Six Flags song either.
Let's bring Los back.
Oh,
here we go. All right, we're back.
We're back. We got him. Way to save the day, Jeray.
I was kind of thinking about quitting the show for the day.
Look, I'm done.
I was like, listen,
putting up the all no more.
Can't handle this. Oh, I'm back. Okay.
Yeah, that's right. We need a new segment on the show.
I was about to reach down and grab the flask out, and I was like, oh no, now it's legit.
Good. And Jeray saves the day. That's the new segment.
I used to work with a guy, and they ended up clipping the audio, and they would play it randomly for about 10 or 15 years. And he goes, he was joking around, but he just said, because they were having a weird moment when I was working in Dallas, and he goes, I have a flask in my car if anyone's interested in an after-work nip. And
great.
that just became like this line.
Yeah.
I've got a flask in my car.
Yeah. Stand by.
I'm like a good hot flask of whiskey.
Exactly.
Yummy. Yeah, that's exactly right. Commies, they use values, Los, that they don't even believe in. This is something that I don't know that many people have thought about.
I'd like to think that if I wanted to talk Tug into maybe taking another look at a position, the best way to do it is to reissue the position to Tug. For instance, hey, maybe you should do a little bit more work in your yard. You know, Jesus would do it.
Oh.
Hey, Tug.
You're trying to lure me in with my faith.
Maybe we should. Maybe you should take a trip. Go somewhere that you haven't been there before. You know, Jesus walked a lot.
He sure did.
And so that's the communist is now used to taking your values, the things that you care about, and associating it to the politics they want.
And twisting and turning it.
I mean, I don't know the organization that great, but when you get the ads that you see on TV about, well, this is the way Jesus would do it.
Oh, yeah.
I'm like, what are you trying to influence here?
Huge campaign.
Yes.
Gosh, what was the name? I'll figure out what the name of it is. It'll come to me in a moment.
And he gets us.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's it. Yep.
So I want to play for you Rose DeLauro.
Ooh, is that the
one who looks like she should be hiding under bridges? Yes, the congresswoman with the purple hair.
Hiding under bridges.
The trollless lady who looks like she wants to jump out and be like,
"Ha!" Wears the glasses from The Old Man and Up.
Yes, very much so. She looks straight out of The Old Man and Up. So Rose decided that she was going to reach out to Speaker Johnson. Rosa was like, I need to talk to your heart. And you seem like a guy who would respond to this. I want you to listen as this is how they play. They don't share your values, but they know how to try and use your values against you.
Beliefs are rooted in the Bible, that the Bible is his worldview. And I will just say to you, he is a man of faith. I will agree to that. And he says that those beliefs are rooted in the Bible. But the Bible is replete with guidance of attention to act as a community, to focus in on the poor. And the Bible lays out a faith-based policy agenda. It espouses social justice. Exodus commands not to oppress the poor or the stranger whose cry God will hear. Leviticus set aside a share of the harvest for the poor. The Gospel of Matthew on the need for a living wage. The letter of James on the obligation not to show favoritism for the rich or the needy. And so I do not understand people of faith, and I don't understand the speaker about how the healthcare crisis fits with that worldview. It does not fit with that worldview.
So please vote to give us more money for illegals and to run down the subsidies that we have created because of Obamacare, because you love Jesus.
I get so sideways with people who love to twist the word. And I don't pretend to be an expert by any means. But I know that there were laws of the day, and Jesus said, render therefore to Caesar the things that are Caesar, and to God the things that are God. In Romans, he said, obey the government, for God is the one who put it there. And I do believe that. I believe that everything that is put into motion has reason behind it for some reason or other that I may not ever understand. And there's also a verse there that talks about that. Lean not on your own understanding. I think you can probably manipulate the Bible to say anything that you want it to or need it to say. And it is people that are pure of heart that I'm going to listen to when they present that, like my pastor at church. There's not a chance in this world that I believe that woman is using the Bible for any sort of pure intention.
No, it's strictly for her own political use.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
But it does work on some people. It is effective at having, well, maybe I should re-examine what my view is. No, when you decide to hold the line, I'm going to hold the fort. Here's what you're doing.
There's another group of people that there's churches all over Atlanta that preach prosperity gospel. Like if you do what Jesus said, he's going to give you $1 million, and I need you to send me a whole bunch of money so I can buy me a private jet, and I'm going to spread the word. You know what I mean? That weird prosperity gospel that is.
If you'll just give me the money, I'll go buy my jet and spread the word.
But have you heard it? Have you seen it? I have. Goodness gracious, I've seen it over and over and over again. And when I see that, I'm like, that is the filthiest way to twist and turn the good book to your own benefit, which I think is worse. I think that's the worst thing you can possibly do. I don't think there's anything more low down than trying to manipulate what the good book says to benefit you. That's terrible.
Again, reject the premise.
That's right.
That's all it is. She's trying to level with you as in like, listen, we're both Christians here.
I don't know what she is. I don't know if I believe that for 1 second. I mean, you know what I mean? Like, I'm not saying that a woman that has purple hair that talks about the things that she talks about can't be a Christian, because I don't know her heart. I don't know. But I don't know that I trust her as far as I can see her. And I've heard her speak multiple times, and when she does, I'm like, what she's saying doesn't line up with my values whatsoever. So I'm reluctant, Los, to listen to her gospel. to listen to her giving me or Mike Johnson the Bible verse.
Yeah, I think I'd kind of skip that one.
Like it's like the prosperity gospel people. As soon as I see them, I'm gone.
Oh, I mean, if you really wanted to play this game with them, then how you play the game is, well, as a Christian, we both believe life is precious, right?
Yes.
Right. So how do you advocate for abortion the way that you do? And that's the end of the conversation and the argument.
Yeah, because they're going to talk to you. And then when they say, well, my body, my choice, I'm like, well, but the baby's body ain't your body.
I'm just saying that's the simplest way to end the whole rigmarole of, I'm a Christian too, just like you. She's looking at you going like, how would I say it this way? I am one of you.
Yeah, that's right.
I am one of you.
She's doing it very gently.
Right.
I am one of you.
And then she jumps out from under the bridge. Yes.
It's like is it three Billy Goats Gruff?
Give me your votes.
That has the troll under the bridge as the goats are trying to cross. Have I got my old tales lined up or not? I want to play you a piece of audio for this woman. She's a candidate for governor in California. Her name is Katy Perry. No. Katy Porter. Good Lord.
Although Katy Perry might do all right out there.
Yeah, she'd probably fit right in.
Or if
Katy Porter.
Or if you listen to Jesse Kelly, he calls her a little different name.
I don't know what he calls her.
Porker. Listen, she's robust. She's a woman of size, and she is not a nice person.
And she's not.
Jelly donut.
I mean, let's face it. Everybody likes, for the most part, fat people that are nice and friendly.
Yeah.
Who doesn't like a fat person who's nice and friendly?
Those guys that can hit the pole vault, they're amazing.
Funny.
And breaking all kinds of records that you wouldn't have expected them to even have a chance to do.
I had a friend of mine in college. He was 300 plus pounds, and he was like, you know why I get girls? I'm funny. And I was like, yes, you are. You're hilarious, Mark. But what happens when you're fat and you're mean?
Like Katy Porter.
Parker.
Oh, yes. Yeah, Porker. Sorry. Yes. Let me get it right.
Sorry, I don't mean to derail you on a Friday in the 9 o'clock.
That's the last thing I need is derailing. I derail myself all the time. But listen to what she calls people who are into pedophilia. Listen to this.
The allegation of groomer and pedophile, it is alleging that a person is criminal somehow and engaged in criminal acts merely because of their identity, their sexual orientation, their gender identity. So this is clearly prohibited under Twitter's content, yet you found hundreds of these posts on the platform.
Katie says that pedophilia is a gender identity and not a crime.
Not quite.
I kept waiting for the joke. I kept waiting for the punchline, and it never came. She is not kidding. This is the far, far left. And that's the direction that the Democrat Party is headed. And that's why nobody that is even relatively moderate is ever going to win in this party again.
I just remember that Mambla used to be the thing that we would actually make fun of.
I remember Bill O'Reilly talking about that 25 years ago.
I was like, the Man-Boy Love Association, huh? Just to see that pedophilia has never left the ranks of the left. They've kept it around. And it's always now, they'll remake the discussion. As I say, liberals will change words to win arguments. That's what they do. I went through 2020 when suddenly a vaccine was completely different than what their vaccine was. But this is a group that will tell you that there is such a thing as a minor attracted person. No, there's not.
No, there's not.
There's just pedophilia.
Who are criminals.
Right.
Nothing more.
Because there is nothing that is normal or should be socially acceptable about being attracted to children sexually.
Unreal is what it is. Goodness gracious. This woman...
But it's an identity. No, it's a disorder, and it's criminal.
And it's gross, and you're defending it, making you gross, Katy Porter.
See how good that feels?
Especially coming off of a discussion like that. Good Lord.
Man, she is so large and mean. She's just mean.
Yeah.
Get out of my shot.
I know. I saw that too, where she's yelling and screaming at her staffers. It's the worst.
Just a nasty lady.
Just a nasty lady. Mike Collins.
You can get a lot further if you're fat and you're kind.
Yes. Or you're skinny and you're kind. Just being kind, I think, gets you a long way. Mike Collins is running for U.S. Senate, and he has hauled in some money. A lot of people supporting him. Let's see what he has to say to earn your vote next on the Morning Extra and Extra 106.3.
You're favorite Extra shows are streaming live video from the studio on Extra 106.3's YouTube channel. Subscribe to the Extra YouTube channel and get the Morning Extra and the Kimmer Show in live digital video.
Hey, y'all, let's talk about Howard Brothers Fall in Georgia. It's here. You noticed, right? You got up this morning, you went outside, a little bit cooler out there. You've probably seen in your yard changing leaves starting to fall. That leaves room for plenty of outdoor projects. And at Howard Brothers, they got everything you need to tackle the season. Mowers, blowers, grills, that's my favorite, and gear. Howard Brothers is your one-stop shop for work and play. Need parts or service as well? Their team is ready to serve you and keep your equipment running strong every season long. Professionals, you know exactly. You got an issue with a piece of equipment, you take it to Howard Brothers. Homeowners, you have an issue, take it on over to Howard Brothers. This fall, make the most of your yard, your home, and your time with the trusted folks at Howard Brothers, proudly serving their communities for 70 years and counting.
Of all the radio ads I've ever done, I only advertised one thing that I think saved my life. My CPAP machine, sleep apnea. And I found the best CPAP dealer out there ever, Roddy at CPAPs, etc. in Alpharetta. CPAPsETC.com. Everything you need, all the supplies, shipped anywhere at a price that often beats insurance. CPAPsETC.com. Go take a peek now.
Need advice on getting things fixed up around the house? No matter how big or small that project is, we've got your answers. Listen to us on the All Four Seasons Home Show presented by the Trusted Toolbox. Join Dan Watkins, owner of All Four Seasons Garage Entry Doors and Windows, and me, Chris Lalamia, your favorite handyman from the Trusted Toolbox, as we tackle all the issues, fixes, and honeydew projects around your home. Join us every Saturday morning at 9 a.m. or grab the podcast anytime on the Extra 106.3 app.
Hey there, I'm Tara, owner and publisher of Our Town Monthly, Cobb's premier lifestyle magazine, where you'll find familiar faces, local voices, and community businesses like St. Benedict's Episcopal School.
I'm Father Brian Sullivan, head of school at St. V's in Smyrna. We welcome students preschool through 8th grade into a diverse and inclusive community. With small classes and personalized learning, we focus on the whole child academically, socially, and emotionally. Beyond the classroom, our students thrive in arts, clubs, mini athletics, and community service. We're proud to offer Spanish as a core curriculum, and we are a STEM certified school, preparing graduates for success in high school and beyond. Applications are now open. Learn more at stbs.org.
Thanks, Father Brian. Friends, check out this community treasure. And remember, Our Town is your town at Our Town Monthly.
Surprise! Your expenses this month were way higher than you expected. Also, you forgot to renew your website domain, and now you're in a bidding war.
You should see the look on your face.
At Progressive, we know small business owners don't usually like surprises because they cost you money. But a good surprise that could save you money? Getting a commercial auto quote from Progressive.
Plus, the fridge died in the break room, and now everything smells weird.
Surprise yourself. See if you can save in as little as 8 minutes at ProgressiveCommercial.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates.
Fox on Tech. Tesla may make a safe car, but not necessarily a safe driver. Many Tesla owners are subscribing to full self-driving and like to post videos of a steering wheel moving on its own. But the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration is now investigating why Tesla's self-driving tech is making vehicles run red lights. Among other things, that would certainly get a human driver at least a ticket. So far, they've had more than 50 incident reports of autonomous cars using Tesla's full self-driving software, not just running red lights, but crossing into wrong lanes. Sometimes the car did stop at the red light and never moved again once the light went green. The investigation comes as Tesla releases a major update to its full self-driving software. The same software was the focus of an investigation last year following complaints it caused cars to crash during low-visibility road conditions. With Fox on Tech, I'm Eben Brown, Fox News.
The stories that matter to you. These are your Georgia headlines.
Here are your Georgia headlines for Friday, October 10th. Police say a man was arrested after making a fake bomb threat at a bar in Marietta Square. Investigators claim 29-year-old James Lusk placed the threat after being ejected from the establishment. He's now facing charges related to the hoax. Police are also investigating a second bomb threat made at another Marietta business later that week. Hartsfield-Jackson is expecting heavy traffic this weekend as Metro Atlanta families head out for fall break for Fulton and Coweta County schools. Thursday saw over 100,000 passengers departing, and airport officials are projecting to see about 115,000 passengers today. The airport is urging travelers to arrive at least 3 hours before their flight to allow enough time for security checks. And the Braves have launched a new initiative called Hank Aaron Diamonds to fund major upgrades to baseball and softball fields in Atlanta public schools. The plan includes installing turf fields at all Atlanta public high schools. The project's expected to begin this month and is funded by the Braves Foundation, along with support from multiple corporate partners. Today's weather, clear, cool, and sunny with a high of 71. With your headlines, I'm Jerry Payne for Extra 106.3.
Tug and Los until 10 on the Morning Extra on Extra 106.3. Joined on the show by Mike Collins, representing Georgia's 10th Congressional District. Mike, good morning. How are you?
Hey, doing fine. How y'all doing?
Man, could not be
great.
better. Yeah.
Great on a Friday.
Shoot, yeah.
Nobody's ever going to tell you they're doing bad on a Friday. You know?
I can't imagine.
I hope not. You know, there might be some bad karma coming your way if you're complaining on a Friday.
If you don't like a Friday, something's wrong with you. But it's such a pleasure to talk to you. I want to ask you, because you are running for Senate, and you're getting a whole lot of interest in your campaign, and you're raising money in an incredible fashion. If you were already senator, let's say that you were a senator right now, what would you be doing to open up the government?
I would be leaning on the same senators that we've always played, and leaned on, and getting the two pieces of legislation that I got passed into law, because we had to have Democrats ride with us on both of those pieces of legislation. And there are people over there, they understand. You pick out the ones that are coming up for re-election, and the ones that are sensible that'll talk to you. Now, Chuck Schumer's not going to be one of them. I mean, he's in a fight for his life anyway. I mean, he's got AOC staring down his neck, Yeah. So, but there are people over there, but once you get a couple to go, or two more to go with you, you'll start seeing the sea change then. And I think the other part of the equation is the American people are going to start demanding something happen. There is nothing that happens in that town up there, and it never will, until the American people stand up and say enough is enough. We need this fixed now. And, we need this government back open, because y'all know this. We've already passed 60% of our appropriations, sent them over to the Senate. They've sent them back, and we're ready to have a conference on them. We only have 40% more to go. Why not just open this thing back up? Let's just keep going. They've already voted for this 13 times. Give us through the end of November, and let's get the rest of these appropriations out. This could be crazy, but we may get back to regular order.
Congressman Mike Collins is our guest right here on the Morning Extra, and let me follow up with that, because the polling continues to show that this is not hurting Republicans, but also the polling continues to show that the issue that the 18% of people that consider themselves Democrats and look at Democrats favorably, they like this because they feel like the Democrats are fighting back. Is it mostly a perception issue that's going on to go along with the AOC challenge and some of the issues in the Democrat Party?
Yeah, well, it is. And but look at what it's doing in reality. I mean, in this reality, you're hurting our troops, our military out there. You're hurting people that are not going to get paid, that they get paid twice a month, that they're rolling up on that next month or next week. And so there are a lot of people that are caught up in whatever perception that they want to, put out there. And that's the reality. And when the reality sets in and the American people say this is enough of this mess, then they'll go ahead and pass this thing, which is all they need to do. We get back to regular order. We get back to funding the government and get back to doing our job. Then if they want to have a debate, say on health care, then that's when you have it. You don't have it when you have a funding bill on the floor.
Congressman Mike Collins joining us on the Morning Extra and Extra 106.3. He is running for Senate. You'll be able to learn about his campaign. We'll tell you how to get there and to learn about the things that he is going to work hard to do if he were to be elected senator here in the United States and from the state of Georgia. But you brought up the military, and I served in the Navy, and my last year, Mike, I made $15,000 as an E5. I'm sure that's gone up slightly since then. When you start missing checks as a guy that made $15,000 my last year, my highest earning year in the United States Navy, That is something that is extraordinary and very painful for people. This is going to come down to people are going to have to start screaming and shouting, kind of like you're talking about. But this does have implications. This does hurt real people.
Yeah, sure it does. You talk about military pay. Now, we increased the military pay substantially when we passed the big, beautiful bill. And increase that. But before that, you had military families that were on food stamps.
I served with right alongside those, sir. And I've told that story a million times, and I'm glad you said it because people are in disbelief. They're like, no way.
Yeah. That is beyond sad and disrespectful. I mean, these people put their life on the line every day to keep us safe, just so that we can get out here and protest or whatever people think that they want to do in this country because it's free. And then we don't do any better for them and their welfare and their family's welfare than what we've been doing. And now we're going to tell them, oh, by the way, you're not going to get paid next week. That's to me, that's beyond disgrace.
Representative Mike Collins joins us right here on the Morning Extra. He is also running for Senate in this state. And I want to move over to that because we've been talking to a lot of candidates across the state that are in this primary process. What has the challenge been for you? Because it seems like every different campaign has had, whether it's trying to get the word out, trying to get, in certain cases, trying to get from a smaller market into a bigger market. What has been your challenge for you?
Just getting up to speed, and I think we've done a pretty daggone good job of doing that. So many people encouraged me to get into this race. It's not something I was seeking to do, but people encouraged us to get in it, said we need to be in it. And as you can see, just in the short 10, 11 weeks that we've been in this thing, I mean, not only are we leading in the polls, we're leading in fundraising, we're leading in grassroots. I mean, for somebody that's only been in a short time to be number one in fundraising, outraised even the governor's pick. And to be first in polling and to be tied with John Ossoff, to have organized all 159 counties with over 400. Last time I heard it was 420 people that are chairman across this state. We got donations from all 159 counties, all 50 states, even territories like Guam and Puerto Rico and Virgin Islands. This will be a nationwide race at the end of the day that shows you how we have support all across the country. But the support and the push from here in the state of Georgia, man, has just been incredible.
And congratulations on that, Representative Mike Collins, here on the Morning Extra on Extra 106.3.
And by the way, as Mike Collins is bringing up, that polling from September, again, this is with the idea of asking the question against John Ossoff. Even as of now, Mike Collins is polling even with John Ossoff.
Let's go. It's so encouraging. It has to be encouraging to you.
Well, it is, but I think, man, I look forward to the day that people can sit there and take a choice between just a blue collar successful business person or someone that's a trust fund kid. And don't get me wrong, there's nothing wrong with that. He's going to get his checks for the rest of his life. But we've both been in Congress the same amount of time. I've been there 2 years. He's been there one term, which is 4 years now. And then look at the results of what we've gotten done. I've gotten 2 pieces of bipartisan legislation. He could have done the same thing I did with the Lake and Rod. He could have done that, but he didn't. People understand the reason that I went to Congress was to work and to be a workhorse up there. And we've shown that we're going to do that. We'll keep doing that over in the Senate so that we can get things done. Because as I've been saying for the past 2 years, the hang-up now is in that Senate. And you're seeing it played out daily right now with that shutdown over there. And he is not lifting a finger for the military. He has not lifted a finger for the farming community in this state since he's been about. Yeah, sure, he comes and talks a good talk, but all you got to do is look at the man's voting record.
Yeah.
And so, man, I look forward for people to sit there saying, yeah, let me make a choice between these two.
Yeah, the choice should be very, very easy. And Mike Collins would be it if he is ultimately the candidate. While we're in the shutdown, I saw Joni Ernst talk about $2 trillion worth of cutting that could be taken down by President Trump. Do you expect some of that to start happening very, very soon?
Well, the administration's already been saying that. They are looking to make sure that everything that they do is set in stone. So, of course, I think the man gets sued every day for something, going to lunch, But I know they are taking a hard look at that because the opportunity is there, and he has the ability and the right to. That the executive branch has the right to do that. I saw the other day it looked like 47,000 IRS agents. Yay! They get furloughed.
Thank you.
Yeah, but sure, if there's that ability, and then we can save the taxpayers money, and we can still operate, and I know we can. The government, in my opinion, these agencies, in a lot of ways, have been the most inefficient, unproductive agencies or bodies that I've ever been around.
To say the least.
Yeah, when you're still running on Windows 98. I mean, that all speak volumes there. But I think that the administration will do what they feel is right with the American people and make sure that we have a government that is lean, mean, fighting machine.
Mike Collins is our guest right here on the Morning Extra, and as the joke does go, Congressman, that a federal court judge has just ruled to stop Donald Trump from creating peace in the Middle East. So that's one of the long-running, goofy things about what the federal court judges continue to do. Yeah. One of them that's out there is what has gone on with our actions and the support for our DHS and for our ICE workers in Chicago and also Portland. How has that been around D.C.? Because I think around the country, the more that we see what's going on in these communities, the more that I don't have a problem with having our men and women on the ground, our National Guardsmen and women supporting these services that are trying to execute the laws of the land.
No, I agree with you 100%. But for people in D.C., I mean, people hear me say all the time that I have not had a shooting in my apartment complex now in almost 3 months. That's reality. And for the president to say that we see that on the ground in Washington, D.C., where you have police officers that want to do their job, but they have no pursuit. They can't go after anybody. And you have a city council and a mayor there that don't want to have law and order. So, for people sitting in Washington, D.C., if they don't see what's going on in their own community that we work in, if they don't see that, then they probably won't see it in Chicago or Portland. But there again, the American people are standing up and saying, man, enough is enough, because y'all know this. If we don't have law and order in our country, we don't have a country. And those men and women that are in our police force and on our sheriff's offices, they're our front lines. They are your constitutional officers in every sense of the word, because that's where law and order is upheld. And we are a nation of laws. And if we're not going to abide by them, we're not going to hold people accountable, then we're not going to continue as a country. So.
Final thought here, as we talk to Mike Collins on the Morning Extra. To run against Ossoff, you got to be the nominee. What is it that you're going to bring that others won't? What was going to make you the person that can beat Ossoff? Why should people vote for you in the primary?
Well, midterms are easy. It's all about turnout. That's it. You've got to be able to be the person to not just turn out the base and energize the base, the people that are loyal to President Trump, those voters. But you also got to be the person that can turn out Atlanta suburbs. And I can do that. Not only do you see it in the polling data that's out there, and the fact that I polled 5 points ahead over President Trump in the 10th district, which is an R24, which is extremely Republican. So I have that attraction to not just the MAGA crowd, which people know that I'm MAGA. I mean, you look at the people running in this race. I am the only candidate that has been with President Trump since the day he got in this thing in 2016 in Atlanta, Georgia. I mean, I was with Trump before there was even a Trump-Pence. And have never wavered, never gotten away from it, been right there supporting him, out there campaigning across the country. Even on the stage in Georgia, they see that. But we also have the story that goes with that, and a small businessman who never quits fighting for what's right. And they saw that in the Lake and Riley Act, with where we had to push that thing through. We tried to get it out in the 118th. We didn't give up on it, wasn't giving up on it, and we got that thing signed into law. So you've got to have both of those. Nobody else running in this race has got that. Nobody else has shown that they can do that. And so that's what, at the end of the day, Georgia's will vote for someone that's going to be a workhorse, be productive, gotten things done, and that's our ticket.
Representative Mike Collins, you can find him at Rep Mike Collins on Twitter, X now, or at Mike Collins GA on Instagram. What's your website for the Senate campaign, Mike?
MikeCollinsGA.com.
There you go. Easy to find him. Thank you so much for making time for our listeners. And, sir, you're welcome back anytime, as always.
Appreciate y'all's time, too. Have a good weekend.
Have a great Friday.
Yeah, absolutely.
There
right.
we go.
Tug and Los until 10 here on the Morning Extra.
You know, we talked about that kiss. And maybe when we get back, we can touch on that. Because we talked about the importance of you're going to have Governor Kemp's kiss.
Yep.
And you're also going to have a Donald Trump kiss. And right now, we're going to see how those end up breaking down. That's going to be an important factor in this entire race, especially in this primary.
We'll talk about that and the fact that Representative Sarah McBride sure has some balls. Next on Extra.
Whoa!
The latest sports news, powered by 680 The Fan and driven to extra listeners by RBM of Atlanta in Sandy Springs, Atlanta's Mercedes-Benz connection since 1964.
Good morning. Here are your sports headlines for Friday, October 10th. From the Major League Baseball playoffs, a pair of Game 4s last night. The Dodgers, they're now moving on after walking off against the Philadelphia Phillies last night 2-1. The Cubs, they force a Game 5 after beating the Brewers 6-0. Tonight from Seattle, a do-or-die Game 5 as well as the Mariners host the Tigers. That'll be an 8:08 first pitch. From college football, 13th ranked Georgia Tech hosts Virginia Tech. That's going to be a 3:30 kickoff on Saturday. You can hear that game on our sister station, 680 The Fan, and the 680 The Fan app. On Extra Saturday afternoon, the Red River rivalry from Dallas features 6th ranked Oklahoma and Texas. That'll be a 3:30 kickoff. You can hear it right here. Later that night, 10th ranked Georgia will be on the road taking on Auburn. That's a 7:30 kickoff. With your sports headlines, I'm Carlos Medina.
We're smart, we care. We're Central Heating and Air.
Fall is in the air, and Central Heating and Air Conditioning is making it the perfect time to upgrade your comfort. For a limited time, you get up to $2,100 in rebates and 60 months, 0% financing with approved credit. That's right, savings up front and no interest for 5 whole years. A brand new carrier system from Central delivers dependability, efficiency, and comfort every family deserves. Central Heating and Air Conditioning have set the standard in heating and cooling for over 3 generations. And now's your chance to bring that comfort home with the best savings of the season. These dual incentives don't come around often, so act now. Call 770-GET-HEAT today. That's 770-GET-HEAT. Or visit centralheat.com, centralheat.com. Upgrade your comfort, lock in your savings, and turn to your Atlanta carrier experts. Central Heating and Air Conditioning.
We're smart, we care. We're Central Heating and Air.
Big moments deserve big-time craftsmanship. At Solomon Brothers Jewelers, we've been family-owned and operated since 1982 because we know what it means to show up when it counts. Jaron Solomon here, and that's why we're proud to be an official Tacori jeweler. Each Tacori ring is handcrafted in California, going through 20 elite artisans before it hits your hands. Not mass-produced, not generic, always personal. And with Solomon Brothers, you get lifetime cleanings, unbeatable financing, and the largest Tacori selection in Georgia. Stop by a store in Buckhead, Alpharetta, or Sharpsburg. Visit SolomonBrothers.com to book your private appointment. Solomon Brothers Jewelers, where love is in the details and legends are built to last. Solomon Brothers Jewelers, proud partner of the Georgia Bulldogs and official jeweler of the Georgia Tech Yellow Jackets.
Hey Atlanta Braves fans, this is Kelly Kroll asking you to step up to the plate for the men and women who have served our country and protected our freedom. The Warrior Alliance, an official community partner of the Atlanta Braves and the Atlanta Braves Foundation, is helping thousands of veterans to achieve success after military service. Either you or someone you know has served and deserves our support. The best way to say thank you for your service is by helping a veteran round the bases on their journey home. Donate today at thewarrioralliance.org.
Over the past 9 years, Stovall has raised over $400,000 for the National Breast Cancer Foundation through our Pinktober fundraiser. Join us again this October in supporting their mission for helping women now as they face breast cancer. All proceeds of our selection of pink plants, as well as 10% of all Rainbird irrigation sales, will be donated directly to the National Breast Cancer Foundation. Customers can also donate in person at any Stovall location and receive a free gift. Visit any Stovall store or check out our website at StovallInc.com to find out more.
Need a break from all the political talk? Tune into Holy Crap It's Sports with Pete Davis every weekday at 5:20 on The Kimmer Show. It's your daily dose of what's hot in the sports world, from the field to the locker room, with Pete's unfiltered opinion and a side of laughs. It's smart, it's funny, it's sports with edge. Holy Crap It's Sports. Catch it at 5:15 only on The Kimmer Show on Extra 106.3.
Breaking news! I've got breaking news! Ricky Rocket just announced a Poison tour. Woohoo! 2026.
Really?
Don't they tour every year?
Yeah, I thought that was sure this is pretty regular, right? Yeah. Every summer.
Yes. I mean, I guess last summer Brett did it by himself, so he didn't have to split the check 4 ways. So I guess they did limited dates, and this is going to be a full-on tour. That's the joy. Ricky Rocket. And the fact that Ricky got to break it, not Brett.
How else are you going to be able to see Ricky and Cece and Bobby?
Well, you wouldn't.
Right.
Otherwise.
That's how you got to do it.
They're sidelined. Brett was like, okay, boys, you can come back. I've earned enough now. I've got a new show hairpiece.
He's adamant about it.
Yes.
He keeps up the look with, as he said, the finest that European has to offer.
That's right.
That Europe has to offer in terms of hairpieces.
Large bandanas. And
yeah.
It's a look.
I mean, if you decided.
It's a look.
Even for a day. Just like a really cool kind of hairpiece. You don't have to look like Chad Powers. Mm-hmm. I don't know if you've seen the hairpiece that
I've only seen the face thing, the prosthetic face or jaw.
Kind of got like a weird butt cut kind of thing for a dude with hair just past the ears.
Yeah.
And if you did that with a bandana, you'd have a little bit of like Joe Dirt going.
Yes, I would. Yes, and I sound like Joe Dirt. It would definitely do that for me. But it was cool to have Congressman Mike Collins on. He has hauled in, I want to say, let me see if I can pull this back up. He's pulled in like almost $2.5 million.
Yeah.
People are serious about Mike Collins and backing him. The other, Derek Dooley, who we had on, also running for Senate, he's another guy that's hauled in about that money. So right now, if you ask me, those look like the two players.
Those right now, based on the polling and based on the information, they're the two primaries that are so far raising the most money, and they're the two that are the closest in the polling in terms of in a head-to-head with Ossoff. As of now, Mike Collins, well, at least as of a month ago, that was the last polling that I saw, he was even. Dooley was a little bit behind Ossoff, but Dooley had only been in the race for a very limited amount of time at that point.
And when he's able to get out there and flex that last name a little bit, and people go, oh, wait, I kind of do know who that is.
And he's going to be, as Mike Collins alluded to, it is Brian Kemp's pick.
Yeah,
Dooley is. That's who that's going to be.
Yeah.
And while Mike Collins is not Donald Trump's pick, Donald Trump tends to swoop in and anoint whoever ends up winning the primary as his guy.
That's right.
But I'm sure he'd love to angle to make sure that everybody knows, hey, I've been a Trump guy for this long.
Yeah, he made it clear in that segment we did with him. He was like, I've been there with him since
And I think the Laken Riley Act does go a long way, too.
Heck yes, it does.
It's an important piece of legislation to think that you had, as soon as it went into effect, the amount of communities that immediately were ignoring it in the interest of trying to keep illegals there. It's like, you just took a law to protect women from violent criminal offenders, illegals. It's not like you got a parking ticket and this is what happens. The Laken Riley Act is about taking violent criminals and getting them out of the country. And to see communities be like, nope,
don't want to be part of that. That's insanity. That is a recipe for disaster, and that's why the Democrats have about an 18% approval rate. Because they go against the logical, the common sense things that we should be doing in America, and in a lot of things that Donald Trump is doing that is common sense, a lot of things that we talk about on this show that are common sense, and that the Democrats run from it. I mean, they turn tail and run, Los, away from the things that Americans value the most, and then wonder why they're in the position they're in.
Why do we have this kind of favorability around the entirety of the country? It's like, for lack of a better term, it feels like they're driving the clown car.
Oh, they are.
And then when they bust out and start doing what they're doing, it's a cartoon.
Well, then think about the people that they back, too. The people that are attacking ICE facilities, they back them. People that are protesting, setting things on fire, back them. They would tell you Antifa, they're not a real organization. They're just loosely affiliated. Anybody with eyes to see knows that's not the case. And yet, they're on the side of Antifa. You have people in the Democrat Party that are the go-between the government, like out in Washington State. You had city councilmen and women that were the go-between between the state government and Antifa. It's the strangest thing.
And this is the difference when I say the clown car versus what is going on. Like, for instance, my spirit animal is MTG. And what kind of criticism does she get? The left doesn't like her because she's gruff, because she's in your face, and she doesn't mind just throwing stuff out at you and being like, here, y'all deal with it. Like, again, I still love that woman had blown up pictures of Hunter Biden from his laptop. Yeah. And she actually entered them into evidence of like, so here's Hunter with this prostitute.
And in compromising positions.
Yes.
And various forms of undress.
And the Democrats went nuts on the floor. Like, you can't do that. It's like, okay.
Oh, yes, I can.
All right. So that's our version. All right. Their version is a man pretending to be a woman.
Like Sarah McBride.
I mean, think, okay, so our version is you think she's gruff and direct and she says things that you're like, oh, that might be abrasive. And your version is a man pretending to be a woman.
Sarah McBride. And then Sarah.
You get the clown car now?
Yes, of course. Oh, yeah. It's 100% super vivid. But then to hear Sarah McBride, she wants you to know that it's you that's weird, not her. Or him, or whatever, Isn't it crazy that there has to be some caveat, some asterisk above?
The fact that you have to think about it?
Yeah. I've never one time when I've been talking about my mother said I had to worry about if it was if she was a she or my wife.
Are my pronouns correct?
Yeah, never had to worry about that. Sarah McBride, the man parading as a woman, says that you're the weird one.
We will not take a lecture on decorum from a party that incited an insurrection. I appear to live rent-free in the minds of some of my Republican colleagues. I wish that they would spend even a fraction of the time that they spend thinking about me, thinking about how to lower the costs for American families. I wish they would spend a fraction of the time that they spend thinking about me figuring out how to make government actually work better rather than making it work worse in order to prove that government can't work. They are obsessed with culture war issues. The Republican Party is obsessed with culture war issues. It is weird and it is bizarre.
That is the pot calling the kettle black.
When you're defined by a lie,
yeah,
then you hate on anybody else who won't lie to you.
We're trying to make sense of you. I don't think about him often.
No, in fact,
until today, until I heard this clip, that's the only time I've ever thought about it.
This is a recurring piece of audio that he puts out there about once a month. This is the deflector. It's like, well, why don't you pay more attention to running government correctly rather than being obsessed with me? Like, well, I don't know.
You want people to be obsessed with you.
You're a man pretending to be a woman.
You're reveling in the hope that somebody's thinking about.
If you were just, because it's when you hear the audio. When you hear the audio, it sounds like a man trying to give a woman's voice.
That's right. That's exactly right.
And so if you were just a man running for Congress, is there any sort of interesting there?
Shoulder shrug.
Right. But I get to be a woman, a trans woman running for Congress. Whoa.
Look at me.
This is novel. We'll give this a shot.
Yes. Did you notice that he started with January 6th? Always, dude. We talked about this maybe Wednesday or yesterday. How they're so obsessed with January 6th. The insurrection without weapons. The one that didn't happen. The one that was infiltrated and 10% of the crowd was FBI agents and informants.
So let me get this straight. The state that has now given me Mr. Potato Head, Mr. Cadaver Joe Biden has now given me a man pretending to be a woman who says I'm weird.
Yeah, you're the weird one.
All right.
All right, then. I'm so glad to be boring and normal.
Wrap up a Friday on that one.
That's right.
I'm weird in my own. I'm weird in other ways.
Yeah.
Obsession with you is not one of them.
It's not one of them at all. That'll do it for us.
I'm going to go watch Y-Files. Maybe see about watching some more Chad Bowers.
A little odd. Not as odd as her. Him. That'll do it for us. Thank you for being here. We certainly appreciate it. For Front Office Los and Jure. My name is Tug. Y'all come back now. You hear?
Live and local news talk continues at 3 p.m. with Kimmer, Pete, and Flounder. It's the Kimmer Show, only on Xtra 106.3 and the Xtra app.
Hey,